Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the FLCC, the Full-Length Cup Challenge. This evening, we're excited to bring you all the action from iRacing's virtual Martinsville Speedway here in Ridgeway, Virginia. So we get set to go on Maconi Entertainment. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including this series and many others. No matter what you are racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside me for filming tonight is Ewan O'Leary, with our producer, DJ Lyon, working the controls using cameras provided by Whiplash SimCams. Ewan, it's nice to have you with us here this weekend as we get ready to go racing with a paperclip as we look to see which drivers advance after tonight to battle for the championship at Phoenix.
It's the all-important final round before the championship, and great to be back again on the Cup Series. Pleased to be with you, Justin. It's always an exciting one at Martinsville. I know that some people don't like it because of the amount of cautions we get and likely to see. Well, it's still going to be an exciting race. 500 laps, as it should be at Martinsville as well. Going to be a long night for sure, but an exciting one and a crucial one as far as this 2025 season goes.
Yes, indeed, and this paperclip very treacherous when it comes to potential chaos here. A lot of possibilities for contact, and a lot of drivers throughout the week have had issues controlling their cars coming off of turn 4 and some of the official action. But quite simply, it's going to be difficult to pass here, but the pressure is on for those in the postseason. Nicholas Vroman is already secure. Andrew Dyson, with some good points hauls in stages, could get himself locked in. Everybody else is a question mark. Jonathan Delaney only up by 5. Lucas Hoytsma only up by 1 after he received heartbreak last night, where he exited the night thinking he had advanced in the Xfinity Friday Night Lights Series to the Championship 4. Instead, after it was recalculated with 1 penalty from Talladega from another driver, he was knocked out of that. He looks to hold off Matt DeCiani tonight. He was 90% sure he would be able to race this evening in the 97. Paul Hill, a -5. Then the win and need to get in with victories. Clayton Hoffman and Adam Benefiel need to walk it off tonight if they want to move on to Phoenix.
Yeah, and that's surprising it for Benefiel, really, to be in this situation, 49 points behind. We know how much of a good driver he is, and it is surprising to see him so far behind where you'd expect in the round of 8, but these things happen in the playoffs. This is why we enjoy the playoffs. These 3 race runs really do give us some surprises because they're effectively just mini championships. As for the rest of them, Tanner Marty is currently leading the way, and this is what a championship used to look like, of course, and as you can see, it is very close.
Keep in mind, Robert Miller, who's missed a lot of races during this postseason, it took until just this last race for Tanner Marty to reel him on in. Stephen Williams will do it this time around if he does start tonight. Believe he's not amongst the drivers here. But it kind of showcases just how some of the drivers have had to work hard to keep up with, say, Miller, who was a winner after the playoffs started and had been one of the first drivers out in the first place. Remember the last time out we seen a non-playoff driver win at Dega. But remember, stages tonight 130 and 260. A very lengthy third stage here, Ewan. It's a long night at the paperclip.
Yeah, it is a very long night, and as I say, that last stage is very, very long. 240 laps indeed on that run to the finish. The only stage, I believe, where you'd be absolutely it'd be necessary to make a pit stop over the course of the day. Now, obviously, we'll see pit stops in the first and second stages as well. But if this race were to be totally green from start to finish, of course it won't be, then that will be the only stage that would actually require it. 130 laps for the first 2 stages. Not actually that long by Martinsville standards.
By the way, Patrick Gitter, remember, was the winner last time out. He set the pole, actually, for tonight's race. So Gitter's carrying momentum after he missed some races that cost him a chance to move on to the postseason. Was one of the championship favorites for the start of the season. Went cool after the win to start the season at Daytona. But able to pick up at least a second superspeedway victory in 2025 to help close things out strong heading into the final 2 races. Final practice just finished up. Adam Benefiel top of the board in the session. who had an 18.106. Believe me, done the wall ride, though. Andrew Dyson, Paul Hill, Nicholas Roman, Alex Murray were the top 5 in final practice. But it is just about time for the drivers to get ready from Virginia. This paper clip about to see how many hot dogs the drivers can handle and how many hits these cars can take. Keep in mind, drivers are expected to have a clean night. 3 drivers actually got suspended for incidents from Talladega. Patrick Gitter will start on the pole tonight. Nicholas Vroman starts next to him for the qualifying session. The difference on time was about 4/100ths, give or take, between the two of them. Patrick Gitter had an 18.383 during the sessions on Friday and Saturday. Lucas Hoitzma will start in third tonight. Jonathan Delaney, a teammate, will start next to him in the 4th spot. Then 5th position, that's where Andrew Dyson starts tonight. He looks to try and get a lock alongside him. Paul Hill, who looks so good at Dega, looking to have a much better run here for the finish, at least, tonight. Alex Murray matches his car number in 7th tonight, with Matt DiCiani starting off in the 8th position. 9th will go the way this evening, Nolan Hodgson, with Jacob Simpson making an appearance in 10th.
11th place will be Bobby Anderson in the 5 car with Thomas Kumasevsky alongside in car 88. Row 6, head of Adam Benefield. Must-win situation tonight for car 83 in 13th ahead of Evan Mesnard, who is in 14th position. 15th goes to Sean O'Brien Jr. with Carl Ammon alongside in the 17 car. That's row 8. Row 9, William Owens and Cliff Mullins at 17th and 18th. The pace car brings them around to another pace lap. Stephen Williams and Dave Hoitzma round out the top 20.
21st goes the way of Richard Kleinman. He'll start alongside Brandon Hastings back in P22. Then it's Matthew Boston Wheeler, who had some ups and downs in the Xfinity race last night. Daniel Wallen was a lap down several times in that same race. Neil Pearson starts 25th. Ralph Hutchinson, well deep in the field tonight, 26th. Towards the very back amongst the provisionals as well, Clayton Hoffman and Devin Medeiros will look to go all Cheerio from the back. That's a look top to bottom of the running order here tonight. Your conditions, once again on screen, very cool air conditions since it is October. Cool track temperatures as well. We're happy to have you with us here on Maconi Entertainment for coverage of the full-length Cup Challenge. The field all set. The green flag is out. Let's see who moves on at the paperclip. Gitter holding the lines through to 3 and 4 as Lucas Hoitzma moves up the second immediately. That inside line, the line you need to be in, quite simple, Ewan, and we're already seeing why with Nicholas Vroman getting shuffled all the way to 4th.
Yeah, and you wonder how far he's going to go back here. There is a bit of a gap opening in front of Delaney that he could just slide into, but he's still fighting this hard on the outside. I wonder if it's better at this stage in the race to just tuck in, and he does.
It is possible to pass the outside, but you need to be rapidly quicker in the first place to make the move. That's going to be harder to do in a series like this than, say, an 8 open lobby for these competitors. Let's put it that way. But right now, the main thing is quite simple. Gitter with the clean air. Going to be able to march forward and control things. Going to take a lot of skill set and a lot of speed in the car to make passes in the dirty air here, Ewan.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot to make passes around here, and you can already see it with the single file nature of this run already. This is all the way back in 16th where we're finding a fight. William Owens and Carl Ammon going side by side here. Owens should clear on the inside and finally does, but just shows you have to go a very, very long way down to find a fight already because of the nature of this circuit.
Yeah, it's a very rhythmistic track, and it's so easy to zone out. From what I've noticed, ran a race just before this just to get a feel on the setup side of things, but better yet, get some races in general. And it was very easy to just have to zone in, hit your brake marks, get good corner exit, get the gas, then hit the brake, slow down, get to the corner, get the apex, go from there. The 7 trying to work the outside. Paul Hill trying to stick the inside. A bit of contact. Paul Hill holds off.
That was a late braking manoeuvre, akin to a road course race, actually. Hill got in on the inside and upped into 6th place. It's a playoff driver passing a non-playoff driver as Murray goes backwards into 7th place. Hodgson in the 12 car next in line, looks to just sit there happily in 8th position. But it does feel like a road course at times, Martinsville. You do see in the real world road course drivers doing very, very well around here because of the amount of accelerating braking you do. Makes it feel very, very similar. And that late braking manoeuvre certainly could have gone on at any road course we go to.
Yeah, this is a racetrack where, in a lot of cases, if you're good at road courses, you can drive here. And seen in real life, AJ Allmendinger, Gen 6 car era, when he was running with JTG Dotary Racing, actually have some of his best races on ovals at this track. After being, at the time, no main race driver you'd see up front on the road courses only. But lap traffic could play a factor pretty soon, by the way. The leaders still marching around, but they are reeling in Kleinman. And then they're already within about, give or take, 5 seconds of catching up to the back end of the main gaggle of cars. That includes Daniel Wallen, Brandon Hastings, Dave Hoytsma, Devin Medeiros, Matthew Boston Wheeler. As, speaking of which, Richard Kleinman brings up the caution. He had just got an EOL and it started at the tail. He's already towed it.
That was really close as well for Gidder. He had to pull out very sort of late on in the corner. Midway through, the angle we saw, we didn't see the spin, but we saw the avoiding action. This is what happened down in towards turn 3. Completely running on his own, so nobody around to blame, but just loses it through the middle, slides, and unfortunately spins in front of the leaders.
Good heads up to tow the car, but obviously going to cost him a chance to contend on the lead lap for a while now. Going to help one driver at least, Quentin Hoffman, who is a playoff driver who started at the tail, already lost a lap for the initial start. Believe he started from pit road, in fact, in the 92. Believe he would be the lucky dog in this case, and indeed is. He had to take the provisional tonight, as many people rush to be able to take them later throughout the evening, with them not able to qualify. And that's a risk some people, I'm not sure, are willing to take at a track like this, but may have to take due to real-world circumstances. Hoffman, remember, minus 29 for the cup line coming in.
Yeah. You said must-win situation at the start of the day. It probably is true. I think there is a mathematical equation where he doesn't win and can make it through, but it's not worth thinking about because it is so unlikely. And he's pretty much in a must-win situation, and you know it's not the worst circuit in the world to start a lap down. Now the concern obviously is a long early green flag run and actually going legitimate laps down as well. At which point you get multiple down, and not the hardest in the world to win back here, but nevertheless you don't want to be falling laps down anyway. And so it's good that he's got his lead lap back immediately, and he can compete now with the rest of them on the lead lap.
Yeah, we'll see how well the 92 races tonight, but this is, with the recent updates, a pretty quick caution track. The caution flags, the paperclip, go by fast. It's already 1 to go. You can get very caught off if you aren't paying attention with pit stops around here, especially if you're at the back of the field. You might only have 14 seconds total to sit in your pit stop. Not a lot of time to get repairs, not a lot of time to take tires if you do not have track position tonight relative to the iRacing pace car. But the field come up to start lap 17 here. Right now, it's Hoytsma, the highest running of the playoff drivers on the outside. It's Gitter on the inside. Green, green, green. We're back on our way for the paperclip. Good start for the 21. As Andrew Dyson looks to try and become the highest running of the playoff drivers. Look at the inside in the dirty self car.
Hoytsma on the outside trying to fight back. You do get good runs onto the straightaways if you're on the outside, of course, but there's not much banking to use, and Dyson does indeed get in front. Hoytsma making sure he doesn't go down the line, and here he comes on the comeback. Dyson on the outside as Hoytstra switches back to the inside.
Not able to get the run, though, as Dyson does get second fully. Paul Hill still stuck on the outside among some of the fights. Bounced off by Delaney. Jonathan Delaney trying to keep it stuck to the inside. Trying to move forward. Delaney, former NASCAR driver, has been pretty solid all postseason long here. His 6 machine still yet to get the full wraparound and clearance. Paul Hill showing what you can do on the high side if you have 2 very equal footing cars here and you don't make mistakes and push up in the concrete.
Yeah, it would be a mistake to say that Martinsville is a one-line racetrack in the sense that, you know, it's impossible to overtake on the outside. It is possible, but as you say, you've got to have 2 evenly matched race cars, and that's what we have for 6th place at the moment. Hill just able to go so deep in the turns, and despite Delaney trying to put him off by going slightly wide through the middle of these turns, he still can't do it, and Hill is holding up well on that high side.
Very well. He's just got the corner exit speed down the straightaways, but Delaney, as you would expect, in the center in particular, just has the ability to rotate more, get on the gas, just isn't able to get the edges to the point where even Alex Murray is thinking about outside on the diamond lines here. And the funny thing is about these racing lines here too is some people like to run top to bottom, get the diamond line rolling. I'm one of those who prefers to flat line it around the curves. What's your favorite way to approach this track here in terms of finding speed here? What's worked for you in your years of commentating?
Well, obviously I'm European, so I try and make it as much like a road course as possible. And that means diamonding off the corner, in my opinion. That makes it feel more like a road course. It just feels like sort of an extended hairpin almost that you'd see on any sort of road course anywhere in the world. As finally Hill is put to the back of Delaney, and now Murray will try and come through as well, and indeed does come through easily into 6th place. Yeah, diamonding off the corner is the one for me.
We've seen a lot of people trying that little diamond. They have to be careful of 2 though. There is that little divot, if you remember, for many people who follow along and race on the service. There's a little dip out of turn 2 with the pit exit where if you hit it, you can spin it around this racetrack. Adam Benefiel, did you watch by any chance last night here, Ewan? Because he had strong words when he made the championship 4 in the Friday Night Light Series. Quite simply, he called his shot saying, "I'm him, Justin Prince. I'm him. I'm him."
Yeah, no, I do like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch last night. Unfortunately, it's quite late for me, as you can understand. But yeah, it's I'd say I like Adam. I think he's a good driver as well. Especially he's been having a good Xfinity Championship season, of course, which you can catch on Friday nights. But we'll see how he does on Saturday nights this week, whether he can make the playoffs. I don't think it's going to be as easy, but I can absolutely imagine him having that confidence, and indeed taking that confidence into tonight's race.
Some trouble in front of him. Jonathan Delaney just lost the bottom, hit the curb, and you can spin it out if you hit that red and white rumble strip. The 6 did so. He nearly lost it, fell all the way back behind Owen Hodgson in line. Down to the 8th position. Good car control to hold on as he slid the tires around, but the rest of the field trying to stay really far away from the curb. It can just snap you around on that suspension.
Yeah. It's not to be used really. As much as I compare this circuit or this oval to a road course so often, not in that sense. Don't try and clip the curbs to get the car rotated or anything like that. That would be they're just too high really. Even in these cars, they actually take normal road course curbs quite well. This is not the same at all. This is Martinsville. Don't forget, this is an oval, and you can't use them. You've just got to try and as I was talking about earlier, it doesn't matter which line you take through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but whether you're diamonding off the corner or just running around in the nice smooth arc, you've got to get as close to the curb as possible without touching it. That's the one thing the 2 lines do have in common.
Take a look, by the way, check it in on the 92. He's up 9 now that he's on the lead lap. Clayton Hoffman picking them off here and getting speed built in. The Altus machine, always very fast. Of course, built his own setups, has worked in past with Nitro, for example. ran with the nitro paint scheme in the early goings of the season before going full Altus look. And Hoffman, right now nutting the 19 flats. He's quicker than the majority of the cars in front of him, Ewan. The problem is, he's going to have to pass them all, and that's easier said than done at a track like this. 19 flats, the pace of the leaders, everyone else in the 19 ones and twos.
I think early on in the race he's going to get a little bit of a pass from some of these guys, and there's one of them. He makes a move down the inside. That's Owens letting him through on the inside, but you've got to be very careful. Carl Amon trying to take advantage, but Owens didn't let that happen. You've got to be very wary, and that's where, you know, drivers are not going to be quite as willing to let Hoffman through, even though, you know, they want to cut him a bit of slack because it is very early on in the race and he's faster than them. They'll want him sort of out of the way, but they also won't want to get into trouble themselves as the battle for 5th place continues.
Yes, Murray feels like he has speed. No, he's very confident on the setup, and he's all over the bumper of Hill. Here we got him arrow loose there, riding the rear end. But one of the major things through the center is just getting the car to rotate for those Precision Speed Solutions machines. They carry a lot of speed here. They are looking solid and have been, and some of the officials as a unit throughout this weekend so far. Right now, Murray just taking his time here. You don't want to mess with a playoff driver because Paul Gallimore got suspended for doing exactly that with a last lap crash at Talladega.
It's always awkward, isn't it? You want to sort of race your race as it were, but when you're starting to move people out of the way, it does get a little bit awkward with the non-playoff driver getting into the back of a playoff driver. That's when things get a little bit uncomfortable, and so, you know, it's understandable that race control take action in these situations, but they're absolutely not barred from racing, by the way. I mean, Gittler is leading this race legitimately through lap 40, and he's led every lap so far.
I think the best strategy to win the race is be the leader. I know how simple that is, but the caution flag is out, and we're about to see if anyone takes some tire sets here. William Owens is your cause of caution. The 30 car went for a ride, and Owens has lost a lap because there's no hole to go.
Nowhere to get back going again, and that is very, very upsetting for Owens. He spins around through 3 and 4. Now, again, was it on his own or was he helped? Well, I would suggest that the drivers behind are not close enough, so I'm going to guess it's a solo spin. Oh, he's got the line all wrong into 3. Clips the inside curve and goes into a spin.
William Owens doing William Owens things, some will say. And is now the only driver lap down in this one. And a vast majority of the field is coming in. Alex Murray caught speeding. He'll take an EOL penalty coming out of pit road. Andrew Dyson and Clayton Hoffman amongst those who stay out. Who takes 2 tires here is a good question. We had 6 stay out total. Benefield took 4. Nobody except for Ralph Hutchinson taking 2 here. First out the lane, Patrick Gitter.
It's a real jam in the background. Thankfully, not too many down pit lane this time round, as in not the whole field. I guess the majority came in, but not the whole field. It was 10 tyre sets throughout the race. We're not yet 10% of the way through the race. So I know it's a very overly simplified way of looking at it, but I would suggest it's slightly early for a tyre change. I would personally like to hold them back for a little bit later, I must be honest, but there you go. These drivers decide that now is the moment to come in. At least the majority of them have inside 50 laps tonight.
They do have a lot of tire sets on hand, 9 total in the pit lane tonight. So there is a fair amount of flexibility since it is a 500 lap race. So we'll see where the sets lie by the very end here in this one. Dyson on the inside, Hoffman on the outside. Medeiros, Mullen also stayed out. Everybody else who stayed out on the first wave came out the second time, including Dave Hoytsma for some service. Bobby Anderson also was amongst those. Matthew Foster Wheeler, I believe, as well.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these old tyre runners do, by the way, on this restart. It's we'll see what the difference is between those new tyre runners and the old.
Time difference was about half a second on the average before the caution flag the past 5 laps. And here we go, hauled into the wall, and black flag time. That's going to get some people black flagged, and we'll see if race control clears those for Cliff Mullins and several others from the tire spin. Hoytsma already gets on through for the top 5, as Hoffman did not get the gear right. One of the conversations had for the race, he would have to be in second gear with old tires. I believe he was first.
Yeah, it must have been as he got going there, and you think he would know that at this stage. I mean, at least he knows it now for the later on in the race when maybe he's on an old tyre run, but that's so damaging for his race. Part of the advantage of staying out is the track position that you can get from being up front, but he just threw all that away immediately on this restart.
Just confirmed he was in second gear. From that, just gassed it up too quickly, and that rev up gets a lot of people into a penalty box situation. Cliff Mullins does have it cleared, though. He'll stay on the racetrack as he plummets down through the order as a result of that one. All that's while the fresh tires are trying to crowd up front. You have Hoytsma trying to crowd Paul Hill, trying to get some of his spots back there. But up front, too, Patrick Gitter is trying to pressurize for the lead also.
Yeah, he's led every lap until, well, pretty much every lap until that caution. Now he's trying to win that back again on these newer tyres, but got Roman right behind, and there'll be a lot of pressure coming in from behind. They are starting to queue up a little bit, so Gitter's going to want to get through as quickly as he can. He looks low off of 4. It's not going to happen here. It's not going to be easy passing Dyson.
No, it's not, especially to do it clean. Takes a lot of skill, and right now Gitter has the speed in the car too with the rock tire advantage, able to cut to the inside. See how long Dyson's able to defend up here as Vroman looks to go to.
Yeah, he's got to follow through here, Vroman, really. The door's open. He's got to step through it now. He's still alongside there, Gitter, and Dyson doesn't pull into line. He could have been ultra aggressive there and done it, but there wouldn't be much point. Roman's going to get through here on the inside. He'd be pretty certain of that. Now the question is going to be how many go through. You can see Hill dashing to get in line, but no, he's not quite close enough to do the same.
Absolutely not, and Paul Hill gets the bumper. Bit of a slide as Dyson holds on. Bit defensive on Hoytsma for good measure. You kind of have to be that cutthroat here if you want to defend and hold on to spots here, Ewan. You can't leave that bottom open because somebody will just throw it on in there on the inside and try and door slam you up the track.
That's the thing with this circuit, isn't it? That you generally want when you're running on your own to have that sort of wide arc on the way in, that smooth arc on the way in, whichever line you're going to run through these turns. But it does open you up to a dive on the inside, which is the beauty of this racetrack. This is why I'll never say, it's impossible to pass around here, because of course it isn't. It's just pretty difficult. There's the bump, and there is the bumper from Hill, trying to get past Dyson. Doesn't quite come off that time.
Right now, Hill wants to go quick. Cuts to the inside. And now able to get to the door, to the numbers. Up past the Goodyear signals on the car. Hill is now at the top 3. Top 3 now on fresh tires here. Oh, he blew the corner. Too flat, too deep. Dyson gets a crossover, but Hill, still in the fresher tires, going to try and see if he can clear, and will squeeze to make the pass.
Oh, it's very nicely squeezed there from Hill. It's a little bit dangerous, I suppose, at this early stage in the race, but it absolutely constricts Dyson's run as much as possible, and he is therefore able to get into third. Now can Hoytsma follow through? He's on a very wide line. He's not squeezing anywhere near as much as here. In fact, he's not squeezing at all. Dyson free to run with pretty much whatever line he wants, even with Hoytsma on this outside there. Look at how wide he's going there, 97.
Yeah, look at how much he's willing to use the high side and showcasing how much you can get the power down if you're forced to do it with a tire difference. And Dyson at this point just going to become a sitting duck here on this strategy. We're about halfway or so, just about through this stage, mind you. Remember, up to lap 130 here today. Here in a correct into turn one. Caution flag is out. It's Neil Pearson in the wall. He has got Evan Mesnard with him up in one. And we're back under caution.
Is that number 3? Or have I already lost count? I think it's number 3.
I believe it's 3.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Well, I'm just saying that now so we can start counting and not lose track later, because I know I will. I already just did, but yeah, it's just about, as you say, approaching that halfway stage in stage 1, and another caution comes out. 2-car incident this time. Bit of contact. Pearson immediately given the bumper there by Mesnard. He wasn't he wasn't pleased, I don't think, there, Pearson, and he sort of drove into the side of Mesnard on the straight.
Yeah, and that sparks an yellow flag. We'll see this one more time. Mesnard was already going to go to the bumper a little bit right beforehand. And Murray right behind also. So that 73 was already trying to push the issue. Got him loose out of 4. And that little Dordain and the little hookup with Murray's enough to spark the caution.
Doesn't look like there'll be too bad damage there, even though it was quite a spectacular spin. Managed to find a gap there to get going. I think just in front of the leader. I think they just managed to get out, so they'll be okay. But there will be some tyre changes here from a few, and you know, this is a strategy I can more agree with, to be honest. Halfway through the stage, just over the 50 lap mark, coming for 4 tyres, slightly fresher than those who came in last time, although you will have sacrificed a lot of track position, of course.
The Kings with this situation now as they roll. So the field gets a chance to cool things off, and now it's about seeing how these tire cycles also go for those who stay out here, Ewan. In many cases here at the Paperclip, you're expected to have a lot of heat cycles, and that can equalize a lot of the tire wear as the run goes on to a point with so many fire-off points already 1 to go.
Yes, it's true. I mean, it's a way up, really. It's not the most, even despite that, the most tyre-wearing circuit in the world. It's a lot worse ones than this. So I think, you know, later on in the race, track position is going to be quite important, and maybe the front guys are right to use up their tyres early on, because they know they're not going to need them later if they're just going to stay out under a lot of cautions to keep the track position.
So we're just about ready to restart the race here, about halfway to go in stage 1. Green flag is out, back on our way. Patrick Gitter with the launch. There goes Roman. Tries to defend the crowd from the high side. Andrew Dyson already under attack on the old tires still, as the top 3 cleared the single file. Make it the top 2 because Hoytsma still trying to fight it.
And why not as well? It's normally Hill on the high side, isn't it? At least it has been for the first part of this race, but this time he's on the inside. It doesn't look like he's quite as comfortable there as Roman goes for the lead.
Gets alongside, Vroom Vroom, already with a win this postseason for this round. Can he add another one? He's up front, and the highest out of those in the playoffs now. Nicholas Roman looks to pull away. Looks to try and control things now, all while Hoytsma still trying the outside. Now gets for single file for a moment, although Dyson forces his way through for a slight moment for the inside.
And don't forget, Dyson's still on old tyres as far as I'm aware, so he is fighting well here on the inside of Hoytsma. Just doing what he can in this first stage of the race, staying out there for a very long time, and no, he can't get through. In the background, Benefield and Hodgson go side by side. Benefield in front there in 83. He has been making some nice progress as well, although he's in a must-win situation, of course. The stage absolutely won't bother him.
Yeah. Benefield at the moment up 7. We see him on screen. And he was one of the drivers with incredible long-run speed. Him and the Conti cars last night in the Friday Night Lights race were full on in control of things. as the evening progressed, and were able to maintain pace during a 100-lap run to close out the race. So, going to be curious to see if the 83 has that speed tonight in the Cup car. Took a little bit of luck last time we seen Benefield here on the paperclip with some of the contact that picked up there. Oh, Matthew Boston Wheeler just got a meatball flag. The 01 has broken an axle. They were on their own, I believe, but also having technical issues.
Well, no caution yet as the 01 pulls into pit lane, very close to not making the turn there. On the inside of pit lane. Oh, he's already missing through turn 4 here. The front right fender and the tyre, I think, it's not even inflated. He's gone straight on through the middle of 3 and 4 by the looks of that, and straight into the wall. There doesn't seem to be anybody around him.
Yeah, and now the 01 machine with that tech issue off the track and likely out of the race to be our second car with an issue here tonight. Leaders still maintaining 19 flats as they go. They've ran as quick as 18 sixes here tonight. Right now the top two, though, just that little oomph quicker on this short run. Those Chevys seem like they've got a good setup underneath them, the both of them, in two different ways here. Just able to get the arc just right to be able to control things over the course of this run so far.
Yeah, they're looking good out front at the moment, these two. I mean, Gettler looked especially strong in the first part of this race before we saw any pit stops. Looked pretty unbeatable, actually, out front, but have Roman looking the same. So again, maybe track position is more of a factor really in what we're seeing here at the front rather than the actual speed of these guys, but surely those two go hand in hand a little bit as Hoffman continues his run through the field, now in 12th.
Good drive now after getting into big trouble the last time. He was up towards the front. He is on fresher tires now. He's got a difference compared to most of the field of about 20 laps, but that includes pace laps there. That little bit of difference is definitely got to be helpful here for the 92.
Yeah, it has. I mean, again, you have to factor in those pace laps a little bit, but even so, there will be a slight advantage to this. And I must admit, he came in at the lap I would have done. As I say, you get 9 sets in the pits, 10 sets overall. You effectively want to do 10% of the race on each if you'd be really pedantic about it, but we weren't yet at lap 50 by caution number 2. We were by caution number 3. Seemed like a good time to me to be coming in, especially halfway in the stage. Not that Hoffman will be worried about that, considering he is pretty much in a must-win situation.
Exactly here. Hoffman again picks up an hour spot on Hutchinson. That's for 11th spot. However, it's about more than a second to get to the next pack. Alex Murray, by the way, after his speeding penalty, so recovered up to the top 10 on speed, also in the 7. On board with him right in front of him. Somebody I haven't talked about too much yet amongst the postseason drivers who needs points to make sure they can advance. Matt DiCiani, who came in below the cut line to start things off tonight. That 4 car was a -1 to Lucas Hoytsma. Right now, as things run, well, would still not be outscoring the people in front of him as things turn. With all the cars in front of him in the standings, still in front of him.
Yeah. Paul Hill would be getting a little bit closer to Hoytsma and Delaney. He's only 5 behind Hoytsma. Is Hill, as we have a caution again. Yeah, lap 85, 4th caution of the day.
Cliff Mullins this time went around. Seen him up front earlier. Too much curve is what Mullins just confirmed on the radio. No damage to the 82. He had a lot of brake low in the first place.
Just clipped curb. He said too much curb. I think he means any curb on the inside. He only just clipped it. And he goes all the way around and thankfully does not fall off the lead lap. It gives us another chance to see whether we're going to get some more pit stops before the end of the first stage.
So, Mesnard very lucky to not get damaged there, to say the least, with the braking. It's almost involved in the second incident of the night. A lot of people towards the mid to backpack coming on in. Nicholas Vroman actually using a set. We did run an error of 44 laps for some of the drivers. So a lot of competitors here coming down. Dyson, as expected, does use his first set. Also from Vroom, and Delaney just took 2 tires on pit road though. Come on 12th and 13th instead of anywhere else. It's been an interesting race so far. Yeah, you're saying?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, just thinking about Broman's call there to come in. I guess it depends how far you're going to fall down the field and how you intend to use the tyres a little bit later on as Brandon Hastings gets the NEOL. But it is an interesting call, isn't it, when there's so little around you pitting to do that. But I guess when you're in Broman's situation there and you're leading, you can't actually see who's coming in with you. Or at least you can't react to it because you've either passed the pit lane by the time everybody else has come in, or you're already in pit lane when everybody else is staying out because you're the first one in. So that is the disadvantage of being first.
Definitely is here in this sequence as Wallen gets an EOL penalty. Matthew Osterwheeler is officially done for the night, by the way. That's our second DNF confirmed of the day. As the field doubles up, gets ready to set. We're up for a restart again. We'll have about 41 to go in the stage, so split up evenly just about into thirds on some of these pit strategies here with the way the cautions have flown. But Gitter and Hoytsma up front, Benefiel and Hudson, Murray and DeCiani a part of the top 6. Slow roll up to the restart zone. Green, green, green. We're backing away. Gitter gets a good launch again. Adam Benefiel. He's moving. He is battling for second in the Team Conti car.
And he's got a long way alongside Hoytsma here. Doesn't look like he's going to let him in either. Hoytsma pretty high through 3 and 4. He's got a good run round there as well, but Benefiel's still not letting him go on the inside here, looking for second.
Yeah, still trying to clear on by. There it is. Benefiel is now clear. Driver was 49 points out coming into tonight. Up to P2 here. What a storyline that would be if Benefiel was to win and in to get in, all while Hoytsma rides on behind. Some of the battles in the pack, meanwhile, Roman already making the moves. He's getting dived underneath though. Deep send by Pearson. Madero is also trying to make a move on the outside of Delaney. Doesn't make it work. Vroom does now clear as Pearson gets passed by 2-3 cars high side.
Yeah, Hill, one of those who moves up into 11th. Surprised a little bit, by the way, that he has decided to pit because, of course, stage points absolutely do matter to Hill. The reason why it's less surprising for Broman, of course, is because he's already in the Championship 4 coming up next week. But Hill isn't yet by any means and is now, interestingly, down the back of the field, though on the inside of Medeiros here for 10th.
Some say on the radio, got him. Now, an all-try battle it out. By the way, we've just had our first admin ban of the night. Jason S. Taylor, who is in race control, by the way, just broke the no swearing rule. We're off to a wonderful start for that rule here tonight, and that goes against everybody's bet.
At least we haven't broken it, I suppose. That'll be the worst.
I mean, why would we break it?
Not on purpose. Just, if something surprises us, it might just come out.
Not to hurt Adam Benefiel's feelings, but I know he was the favorite for that potential bet for this weekend with the race for the paperclip. He's definitely going to react to that point. But all that's while the 95 of Roman able to move on forward here up to 8. Vroom, making pass after pass right now. Murray, he's been falling back on the older tires here. Just the nature of these strategy games here. And the longer this run goes, the more this is going to hurt some of the people who stayed out. Those freshies are rolling.
Yeah, they are, but if there's another caution between now and the stage and the others decide to come in and there's enough laps for them to re-overtake, then, you know, it flops the other way. So it's so difficult to strategize at Martinsville, even though, you know, it's marketed as a difficult circuit to overtake. If you've got fresh tyres, it's not the most difficult, especially in the first 400 laps, or certainly first 350, which we are certainly in at the moment. That 100 it is, and we are still not quite at the first stage. Here comes Roman on the inside of Delaney now for 7th.
More passing. We've seen a lot of squabbling here tonight amongst this field. Great racing amongst the front runners here tonight as the 2 tires of Roman wrap the bottom. Delaney cruises up the track and gets passed along as a result. So, talking about some of the performances here throughout this season. Short tracks, we've seen things where we have had a change for the race lead, by the way. Just now, Benefiel, in the past moments or so, made the pass on Gitter. Said thank you very much, and now Benefiel leads.
Well, if he's doing this in 400 laps time, then it's time to get excited and get nervous if you're a playoff driver. But at the moment, he's just leading laps and not gaining anything by being out here. Even if he wins this first stage, he is not going to go through on points here tonight. He is going to have to go through with a victory, but showing the good speed. And Gitter showed very good speed early, as I said earlier. So if if Benefiel is showing now that he's got maybe even more in this longish run that we're having at the moment, then that is a good sign for him.
Brilliant sign, absolutely, here. Especially if he can try and walk off. Now all this is while Hoffman trying to hold on outside, up the hill. Yet again, pushed on up as Vroman tries to hold on. Vroman. Incredible season, as we touched upon. Every time he's been out here, he's been a contender for the race win. Usually fast on the speedways and the short tracks throughout this campaign. Some impressive driving throughout the season from him, to say the very least. He is not going to be easy to stop tonight if he keeps on making more of these passes.
Well, especially on the pressure tyres here. If it goes green to the end of the stage, he might well win it. But there are some bigger gaps approaching now up ahead. Side by side, meantime, through 3 and 4. That was a look from Delaney on the inside. He is going through, by the looks of things, on Hoffman, who is again struggling on those older tyres. It's amazing how quickly it can change. Not long ago, he was the one on the fresh tyres making the moves, and suddenly it all changes. That is how, that's how quickly it happens. After these cautions and some new tyres are put on, that's how quickly it can change.
4 wins so far, by the way, for Vroman coming into tonight as well. Paul Hill slides his way through. 3 wins, 11 top 5s, 17 top 10s for Hill coming in. He's one of the drivers with the race finish at Talladega. Really slid down in the order in terms of the championship favorites. Of course, one of his main people, the chassis builder, in Joseph Galata, got suspended tonight for 2 separate incidents at Dega. DeCiani, meanwhile, fighting with Jonathan Delaney. On board with Delaney, you see how much you have to almost punch the brake just to be able to get the car to stop here. You mess up on braking, you are going to go sailing and crash.
Yeah, it's such a key part of Martinsville. Even though you don't get up to very high speeds, only just about 120 on the straights here. It's very important to get your braking right because the corner's just so tight. They're not even sort of that flat, really. I don't know, they look very flat, but it's the tight turns that's really the problem. It's a very, very unique racetrack, that's for sure. Road course oval, almost. As Vroman there pulls in front of, sorry, that's not Vroman, that's Hodgson in front of Delaney, and very nearly got served in towards turn 1 for his troubles.
Absolutely at this point. Hodgson holds on in front now as we approach 16 to go in stage 1 here from Martinsville Speedway. Overall, some big movers in the field, like Clayton Hoffman still up 17, by the way, as we go. But Medeiros is also up 15 amongst some of the shakers in this field. Delaney looks to shake himself back up to the inside. Jonathan Delaney, amongst the drivers who also did a two-tire call with Roman making passes. There's your biggest mover list, by the way. Neil Pearson's on it, Ralph Hutchinson on plus 12. Adam Benefield up 12. Everybody else either up small single-digit gains or have lost positions.
It's remarkable, isn't it, how some of them have gained so much and some people have barely gone anywhere. Especially Paul Hill, who's been up and down a little bit so far in this race. I mean, only up one so far. That doesn't reflect the whole story at all. As Roman gets past Hoytsma now in towards turn one. Hoytsma letting that happen. He sees his battles a little bit further down, and after all, he's probably right. He's 1 point above DiCiani and 5 above Paul Hill at the start of today. He is beating both of those at the moment, but you can imagine Hoytsma's going to fight this one a lot harder with Hill behind.
Yep, absolutely. One choo-choo training around the bottom still as the top two are fully pulled away. 19-2s for a majority of the front runners coming around to 11 to go in the stage this time. There goes Hill, a little bit bobble. There's that divot talked about, just a little bit loose off the corner.
Through 3 and 4 again, Hill and Hoytsma. Oh, side-to-side contact. You can see Hoytsma doesn't want to let this one go, but with 10 laps to go in the stage, he realises and I think he knows these tyres are not quite up to it at the moment in terms of keeping Hill behind.
Right now, Hill in line to have a solid points haul in this stage as we go in the 4th position. Here to finish things out. So under 10 laps to work with here from the paperclip in stage 1, just like that as we roll. Roman has closed in within 1 second, by the way, of Patrick Gitter as we go here. So right now in this situation, where do you go if you are Nicholas Roman? Do you try and push hard, close this gap up? Do you just take the stage points? What would you be doing here?
Well, again, massively depends what playoff situation each driver's in, obviously. I do still feel like almost for everybody that first stage is not too worth worrying about, but you know, it's hard to say that when you know that from Delaney to Hill is less than 10 points, and 10 points is what we're about to give away for the stage winner. Now, I think the top 3 places are secure anyway, and so those maybe not worth worrying about too much. You would say, but this battle for 4th position is massive, and Hoytsma, I would absolutely be getting him to defend as much as he can at the moment, because every point could be crucial here.
Every point going to matter in the long haul of things if you want to win a championship, absolutely here. See how things are traffic jamming for Dyson meanwhile. One of the drivers who took 4 tires on the fresh tires early on. They are lapping by Daniel Wall and a couple others here. Expecting lap traffic to be a huge factor throughout the rest of the day here. The longer these runs go, the more the traffic comes into play, Ewan.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though we have lost a couple of drivers who may have been lap traffic in the past, it's been quite a long green flag run here, and we haven't seen too much, but a longer green flag run, and we certainly will. That's a good run, very good run from Dyson, who goes from the top to the bottom, and he goes to the inside of Delaney. Dyson doesn't necessarily need these points, he just needs a solid run, and he's looking to inflict more pain on Delaney here by passing him with a few laps to go in the first stage.
All them battling it out here, coming around 2 laps to go in this stage. Coming to 2, Benefield leads by more than a second. Patrick Gitter holds on to second. No one else making moves quite yet here. Will there be any little differences for the points here is the question as we get ready for 1 to go in stage 1. Dyson can't seem to get himself to the inside of Delaney. Hoytsma bobbles his way coming off the corner. we take the 1-to-go signal in this stage. All that is what these drivers ready to take the green-white checker flag here. Ewan Benefiel getting held up by traffic here to close. Starts off in a good spot. He wins stage 1.
Just in front of Gitter, and Vroman just sees off Hill as well. And the big story, Hoytsma gets into the top 5 in front of Delaney and Dyson. All those guys fighting for points here at the end of the first stage, and crucially so as well.
They will get re-racked and stacked here. Benefiel, Gitter, Vroman, Hill, Hoytsma, Delaney, Dyson, Hodgson, DeCiani, and Hoffman. Your top 10. We'll take a small break. You're watching Maconi Entertainment.
You want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's action here on Maconi Entertainment. Justin Prince alongside you, and Literary DJ Lion producing. As we turn, some of the points difference: Delaney +7, Hoytsma +4 is the unofficial totals. Hill -4, DeCiani -5 as we roll. Nicholas Vroman got the edge over Adam Benefiel with the pit window, though. So we're about to see how things go to start stage 2 as we go to lap 260. Patrick Gitter was caught speeding on the race off pit road. Wait, Benefiel actually the edge, pardon me here. I know there is Vroman who had the reactions over the radio. Benefiel choosing the high side regardless, makes it work for the green. Clean start for the field as the first battle is on for third. Delaney not able to clear by. Hoytsma on the high side.
Not quite at the moment. They're still in this situation, aren't they, that they were before the stage, really. Hoytsma on the defensive and Delaney trying to attack, but Hoytsma in the end keeping third place. Worth reiterating how unofficial that is, because I did do those maths, but at the moment Delaney is +7 as far as I can work out. Hoytsma +4, but it is so close.
It definitely is here as we look at some of the battles and excursions to get the bottom. A bit of contact there, Murray. Noah Hodgson backing up the corner instead, and he's getting bumped again. Right on top of the bumper of the 7. Hoffman clears, and Hodgson just decides to let the playoff driver go.
And there's another bump. Murray getting frustrated with Hodgson. We speak all the time in Martinsville about the tempers starting to fray. I think we're seeing it here between the 12 and the 7. Hodgson braking in front of Murray, doesn't want to sort of be pushed into a battle he doesn't want to be involved in. Murray wants him to get on with it.
Yeah, just not able to make the pass in this situation yet. All this is well at the 12. He's just trying to keep a clean run, stay out of trouble. Murray, it looks like, going to set things up to the inside of the 12. Murray able to get the arc down and gets pretty quick work actually to the inside.
So finally through, and hopefully those two can just cool the temperatures there for 7th position, because they were getting a little bit aggressive with each other and a little bit annoyed with each other as well. So we expect it at Martinsville, but you don't want to see it out of hand too early. This is further back in the pack, and I guess you could say this is out of hand. The racing back in the back of the pack is fierce, and look at this, 3 wide for a brief moment there.
Yeah, a little bit of carnage in the back part of the group here. It's going to cause some trouble eventually for lap traffic. Mesnard gets leaned on. Mesnard able to just dive to the bottom and hug things off, but Williams to the bumper. And that's the danger of some of those aggressive cuts to the inside. You risk getting yourself bumped and ran by some of the traffic.
Yeah, it is a big risk. And we saw it with Murray and Hodgson not so long ago. That risk was starting to transpire. Again, we're seeing it back here, side by side through 3 and 4 again. O'Brien on the outside. Again, we just see these battles lap after lap after lap. They just continue on like this.
Absolutely here, as you see Mesnard hugging the bottom. Mesnard went with the Halloween paint scheme tonight to celebrate Halloween. Went with the mix of Oreo and Reese's. Combination to try and stick out for the paint scheme. Usually drives a low scheme. Different look. Fits the Halloween motif I think he's looking for.
Can't quite tell what objects they are on the car, to be honest. Maybe there's some American thing and you're going to have to explain to me what it is, but I can't work out what is on his car.
We're seeing Bobby Anderson also losing ground a little bit on the high side as they roll here. A little bit of near contact now for the 5. Up the track goes Anderson. One of the drivers in the best for the rest conversation here. Anderson just trying to stop the bleeding, the boss man, holding well.
And just running in the lower part of the top 20 at the moment, the lower part of the field, you'd have to say, with only 25 still running as far as I can see. Dave Hoytsman seems to be out of the race, or at least pitting for a very long time. So this is further down the field. Is trouble, is there up ahead, or is it just position switching? It looks like there is, as Hill is again coming through the field on Simpson there.
Simpson, as they go, has had an up and down time whenever we've seen him. Tonight doing decently. Two machines just trying to keep it clean, and that's kind of the goal, right? Don't be the one spun around here.
Yeah, I've seen too many, actively spun out like you would expect to see at Martinsville, but yeah, certainly in terms of through this race, you absolutely do need to focus on that and not getting spun out. So we see that some of the movers and shakers again. That's an unbelievable amount of people who've not moved any places in the top 7.
Yeah, for the most part. Things holding firm. If you start up front, you've been able to have speed to stay up at the front here tonight. Speed for speed. Very well respected here. Paul Hill right now holding on to a -7 after the start. After the pit cycle, fell down to 13th. Though that car has got top 10 speed here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. He's just got to run up there a little bit more consistently as Hill. Because, as you say, he absolutely has the speed. He got closer to the cut line as well on points in that last stage, by the way, as he comes through on the inside there. Don Medeiros into 12th place rather. He moved ahead of DiCiani, who really doesn't seem to have the same speed, and so that's where he can take some heart that, he's legitimately faster than some of the other playoff drivers here tonight.
Yeah, not bad for Medeiros, with the 15 spots still picked up. It's kind of hit a plateau, has not been necessarily a contender in the races seen. Medeiros 22nd, the points only 1 top 5 the whole season.
It's not a record you want to have, is it? 25 in the season. It's quite a nice looking livery, by the way, this one.
Yeah, it really stands out. Bringing out the materials here tonight. Try and change things up in the look. Yellow machine just rides along as we take a look at Dyson. Dyson trying a little bit of a different line. Looks like he's got the diamond line to work a little bit on the exit with Delaney pushing up. Delaney lets him have the spot. And Dyson up to 4th.
Yeah, just a couple of top 10s solidly for Dyson in these stages, and he should be fine to make it to the Championship 4. He gained just 4 points though in that first stage. He should still be fine with a 7th place finish in stage 1, and currently running in 4th position in stage 2. Only 30 laps in, of course, a very, very long way to go. Even in stage 2, over 100 laps still.
But now, I can see that anything shapes up differently amongst these drivers. The fall off, by the way, hasn't really hit yet over the course of this 30 laps. They're still running 19 flats to 19 ones. Kind of showcase the way the tire model can work here, but there is a bit of a factor. They are reaching lap traffic. Kyle Amon getting passed on by cars on the outside. The 17 preferring to stick to the inside. That's going to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah, it could do. I mean, if he slows down enough, it shouldn't be a problem. So if he just lifts off here, and they can all come to the inside anyway, and he doesn't have to move from the inside either. There is a way of making that work, but you're right, the drivers would prefer if he went high there and stayed out the way completely, but it's not always the way sometimes that it works, as Brian receives a black flag here. I'm not sure as to maybe what that would have been for in the last couple of moments, but he's currently running 24th.
Connection black flag is the confirmation. He had floored it down towards pit road. He is done for the night. He is now the 4th car out. Dave Hoytsma has also already parked it as of 8 minutes ago. So we're down to 24 running here at Martinsville Speedway, just like that. You have to have a good connection if you want to keep racing.
Yeah, of course. You can't have the effect in the race because of connection. That would be very, very upsetting, really, to see. As we continue to see Adam Benefield lead, he's fast approaching Gitter's statistic of the most laps led tonight so far with 72. He's now just 10 laps away from surpassing that himself.
By the way, checking back in with Marie, holding off Clayton Hoffman now. They just swapped positions, in fact. Marie will relegate Hoffman down to only a plus 20 on the night. Battle with the Toyotas here. Hoffman last time through was in the 3s, so Clayton Hoffman getting a little bit tight, it almost looks like, having to get off the throttle. And that's the tough balance. You have to have enough speed on corner exit to maintain on the straights. You need to be able to rotate in the corners. You can't afford to have to drag the brakes too much. It's a balancing act, and Hoffman seems to have struggled now all of a sudden on that balancing act, with him starting to fall off as one of the slower cars in the group.
Yeah, it's, as you say, always a balancing act. To be fair, the one thing that you don't have to deal with here that you have had to deal with quite often this season, and you do in modern day NASCAR Cup Series racing, is the transition to the night time. As the races often start in the late afternoon in the sunshine, generally and steadily the circuits get under darkness, they get into the shadows, and that really changes the balance fundamentally. Now, we're probably not going to see that here today. As you commented at the start, air temperature, track temperature very, very low, or quite low. Not uncomfortable temperatures by any means, because we are at the end of October, and in Sim it was just past 2 p.m. when we started, as caution is out on the racetrack just under 40 laps after the last.
Trying to figure out where the caution flag came and can confirm. Stephen Williams and Jacob Simpson talked about 2 wanting to just keep it clean. Well, down the middle of the straightaway, they converged on each other and made contact with the help of air. So quite simply, watch the 2 already bumped well up the racetrack, and then right here. Now a little bit of
They recovered
depreciation.
well.
Yeah, good recovery. Could have been worse. Simpson did bounce away a little bit from the wall.
That is a shame for both of them, and a shame for the run actually, because we were developing a nice run there. But anyway, that's enough laps I think to pull a lot of people down on pit lane, especially with the longer green flag runs we've been having in the last few moments. It means that people haven't been able to take tyres quite as often as they did in the first stage, where they had some decisions to make, but there are still decisions being made this time as well.
Yep, right now Cliff Mullins all coming back down on the second wave, but it's Lucas Hoytsma right behind Vroman in the first wave comes out first. Benefiel took 4 tires, part of the pit stop sequence. Dyson also had a better sequence, but also took 2 tires at the track position, but at what cost? He said likely it will be starting on the outside here. Interesting enough, despite being involved with the caution flag, Ewan, Simpson did not pit.
Yeah, it's always going to be one, isn't there? Or it feels like there is. And so it's hitting this time round, but you'd imagine they will be swept up very, very quickly when this restart comes, as we see the playoff standings entering tonight's race from Martinsville.
Yes, indeed. A reminder of how things shook out coming in already. Majority of those points tallies have shifted a little bit, but not significantly in either way. Right now, Jonathan Delaney is the leader, though. Keep that in mind. Once drivers are already above the cut coming in and estimated to be above the cut as we run. Coming up to the restart zone, Delaney and Hutchinson did stay out. Simpson also did. 40 lap older tires here is the big difference. Green flag is out. Better run for the inside. Simpson going for second.
They're fighting over these positions because they know that the new tyre runners are going to be onto them very quickly. And look at this, Roman to the inside of Dyson already. Dyson would have been hoping to stay in front on his 2 tyre call in car 41.
All this is wow. The battle for second is on. Vroman trying to clear on by. Here's the replay of what just happened in the heart of the pack.
Benefiel we're focusing in on here because he has lost quite a few places on this restart by the looks of things. Oh, it's a big slide off of 2, sorry, and he just about manages to stop the car from going all the way around. Well, Benefiel is back in the pack, but at least he saves us from another caution. He saves us from a spin that time around, saves himself from a spin. He can't afford to lose that sort of track position very often, though. As Roman sets a new fastest lap of the race, he's going to put the pressure onto Delaney, who leads 3/10 of a second, and then Dyson, who is in third. It's a good restart, and it's a very, very stacked up midfield with those old tyre runners falling through the field now.
As expected here, and Jonathan Delaney's losing the lead as we speak. Right now, it is Vroman driving to the inside. Nicholas Vroman to the lead. Brings Andrew Dyson with him. Lucas Hoytsma also a part of the crowd that's pulled up and forward. Alex Murray too, a part of this wave. We still have about 80 laps to work with in the stage, mind you. Still a long way to go from home. For a lot of these drivers on older tires, it's going to be a long haul risk. Hoping for a little bit of luck later on their strategy. That's kind of the gambles here at the paperclip. You'll have the comers and goers because of those strategies. And we're seeing that right now with some of the playoff drivers risking it.
Yeah, you've got to sort of manage your tyre sets throughout as well. We've seen that it's not the most tyre-wearing circuit in the world, but it certainly does have a big effect. We're seeing that on this restart here, as you can see the likes of Delaney and Simpson and Hutchinson falling through the field a little bit more than those who have just put some new tyres on, but you don't want to run out either at the end of 500 laps. It's easy to reach for them at the start of the race when you know you've got 9 sets sat there on pit lane, but As I say, you absolutely can't afford to run out, as we've got another caution.
Yeah, so we've had a caution flag pop up right in front of the leaders. Pearson around in the dirty self car. He had some help from Cliff Mullins. It was in the battle for 19th.
Ooh. Slows unexpectedly coming towards 4 there, and so gets driven through turn 4. Waits quite a while for a gap, realises this is the gap that's big enough for him to turn around in, and he only just gets out in front of the leaders who cut him a bit of slack there.
So that puts their caution all goods over the calms from that spin. No one really coming down to pit road. Kyle Mott, for good measure, picks up speeding his entry, but he's already running 21st. To have a lucky dog this caution, Daniel Wallen, who is multiple laps down already, did pick it up here. So overall, what are your thoughts on the action? I know we're still a ways from the halfway point, but it's been a fair amount of cautions like you would expect for the paperclip. Our longest run is about 40 laps or so tonight, as we take a look from Komacheski.
Yeah, and you know, it was don't forget, caution interrupted that green flag run. I feel if it hadn't been, we'd been able to go a little bit further. I don't think it's been too bad as far as the cautions have been concerned so far. It's always going to be a concern at Martinsville, and you know, I don't think it's been as bad as it could have been. I think drivers have done pretty well, and as this field thins out a little bit, we are going to see some long green flag runs towards the end, especially with a 240 lap final stage. I mean, it's going to creep up on us very quickly. We've got just over 70 to go until the second stage is complete. I mean, the first stage crept up on us very, very quickly. The second will as well, and so the end of the race will creep up on us as well. But so interesting to see where these guys are going now in terms of stage points, because this battle for the Championship 4 is only going to get more interesting as we go on tonight.
Definitely should, as we get ready for the restart. Up front, it's Vroman and Dyson, Hoytsman Murray. Delaney and Hodgson. Next up in the order, DeCiani and Hill, Gitter and Hoffman are in the top 10. So remember, Delaney on old tires here compared to everybody else in this front group. Restart zone, green flag is out. Once again, the launch is on for Nick. From able to move his way forward as Hoytsma tries to take second over.
It's going to be difficult on Dyson, but Dyson's still on the outside. Look at that run around the outside from Dyson. I think he's still on those two sets of tyre sets, isn't he? So he's putting up a good fight at the moment. The Hoytsma, they really he drives him into the corner there in 1 and 2. There was very nearly contact between them there.
Oh, there's definitely contact in 3 and 4. Dyson trying to angle his way down. Lucas Hoytsma allows him to save it at least, but now goes back on the plunge. The 97 up to the door, trying to find a way to clear him by the clean way without sending the dirty self car for a sail. Looks like the battle sees Dyson win it. Lucas Hoytsma settles back down.
Good driving from Dyson. You expect on those older tyres he would be certainly giving up, I would guess, after that little bit of contact, but despite the fact that DNF is pretty much the only thing that could jeopardise his playoff chances tonight, he is still riding and racing as hard as possible for well, maybe not a win, but he's certainly racing for a good result heading into the Championship 4, which surely he is going to be a part of.
Absolutely, right now, seeing how things go door to door in the backdrop. Meanwhile, Hodgson, Paul Hill, the plunge, Murray, looking for the squeeze. Alex Murray has had speed all throughout the night. 14th overall in the point standings as things run. One of the drivers who's a part of the round of 16. His best run as of late was a second at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Contact with Hill. Right to the bumper. Now goes for the angle and the squeeze.
Well, they're both focusing on each other so hard, and look at that. Murray drives Hill up the hill. Well, this is getting frayed now between the two. It goes through on Paul Hill, who's just got to regather himself here. And I've got to say, that is not the first time the 7 car has been getting a little bit impatient with those around him, and he's not making friends out there yet.
Just said on the radio when Paul Hill questioned, race how you want to be raced. Race control is sending warnings. Do not get physical on the radio. Please do not have a fight outside or inside your car tonight. All this while, Delaney is still putting up a solid fight here on the old rubber. There's only so much he can do here, though, with DeCiani going for the plunge.
Yeah, you get that. I'm not really sure what he's... seems like to me like he's on a bit of a hide to nothing doing this. He's just trying to hold on to whatever track position he can, but you know, where's the benefit going to come later? I think at the next caution, most of the drivers are going to come in, not just him, for a new set of tyres. Even if, you know, well, yeah, even if he'd come in last time round, he wouldn't have seen much benefit in terms of tyre wear, because they hadn't been running on those tyres for very long, the others, that is. So he's losing track position. He's just trying to hold on to what he can in terms of track position here, but given he's on such older tyres compared to those around him, he's going to find this obviously very difficult.
Excessively difficult. Everyone else on his strategy is just plummeted. Ralph Hutchinson on the strategy is 13, for example. Clayton Hoffman, or rather Jacob Simpson on the strategy is an 11th as we go. And those drivers were just dropped right on his bumper right at the time of the restart. Take a look at some of the air battles going on. William Owens, who went spin cycle earlier on. Darrell's right on behind the Cheerios machine, trying to get the run outside, but Cliff Mullins trying to make something work inside.
Not quite far enough, I don't think. Just going to have to brake very deep, but it does. And there's the payoff. You've got to be very careful through the middle and off as you brake deep into the turns, but still giving it a go here. The inside line, going to again find that very, very difficult. This battle looks like it's going to continue for just a little while. Just while he's there hanging about, the 20 car can't actually get to the low side there. Maduro's not quite run where he wants to every time he's getting dived down the inside like that.
No, it all sorts.
Oh.
Tarver, there goes Cliff Mullins. Caution flag is out. Mullins in the middle of the track. He's got room to burn it out and loop it back around. So back going we go. No flag though. We'll rebunch the field from this end.
See how it happened. I mean, it's just a traction issue, isn't it, off of turn 4, I think. As he's trying his best to get past. He bobbles the curb actually as well. So that will be what does it. And Dios goes around. Now, to be honest, I would be in the camp of coming into pit lane this time round. I know it's not been the longest green flag run in the world, and neither was the one before where everybody stayed out, but you know, there's only just over 50 laps to go until the stage. It feels like a good number to use a new set of tyres on. No, the leaders don't anyway.
Matt DeCiani came down pit road. He just picked up an EL penalty for a speeding penalty. He did have Jonathan Delaney on his rear end, so DeCiani will have to start in the 20s for the upcoming restart. Good speed for DeCiani all night. He should be able to get the spots back.
He's not had a great night though, DeCiani. I mean, he's dropped behind Hill in the very provisional standings. 5 points behind Hoytsma, who's just above the cut line at the... 5 points below Hoytsma, who's just above the cut line at the moment. So it's not been the greatest night for DeCiani so far, and this is only going to compound that now, starting at the back. He's going to struggle to even get any stage points out of this now.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult. But we've seen people bounce back from this far back here tonight a couple times on raw speed. See if DeCiani is able to do it this time. As we come around to one to go next time, I believe, for a restart. Now the fresh tires will have an opportunity to try and carve their way on through here too. It's going to be very intriguing to see how Jonathan Delaney in particular is able to get through the traffic, and how tricky will it be now once again for Delaney to have to pass all these cars. That speed difference is going to be rapid compared to him having to defend from those rapid speeds.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to now be on the other side of that coin, and we just hope really that this is going to be a green flag run all the way to the end of this stage, because that's what's going to give him the big result here and the big payoff in terms of points later. If of course it's stop-start and he struggles to make progress, then it could be difficult.
Coming up to the restart. Roman in control. A little bit higher up on the run as Dyson slams the door. Daiso able to hold on as Hoytsma slips his way into the third spot for now, with Noah Hodgson up on the top groove. Nicely done for the top 3-4 positions. As looking behind, Paul Hill and Alex Murray again, side by side. How will this go?
Well, we've seen this already before, but Murray has been very aggressive so far, and might well just tone that down a little bit now. Race control certainly telling him to do so, at least in the voice chat anyway. He's going to lose this place, I think, no matter what, because he's going to get boxed in a bit here by Hodgson, who's not going particularly quickly.
Yeah. Oh, and Murray getting boxed in, pushed him up to 12. Hoytsma not going to appreciate that. That was a tough situation, but Murray holding no holds barred here tonight, willing to use the bumper in these situations. Benefield looking to wrap around and pass him.
This is Benefield coming from the back. Don't forget, earlier on in this stage, he's going to be, after winning stage 1, of course, he's going to be 6th now, and Hill doesn't, Murray just checks himself to not get into the back of Benefield. Don't forget, Murray and Hodgson came together earlier. That's a second serving now. So Murray really making enemies in the first half of this race.
All this as well. Up front, Dyson. Front footsteps likely on a very similar ski, or rather set up to what Nicholas Roman is in. No Roman's connections with everybody at this point. At this point, if the track is correct on a Ryko setup, working with Team Conti drivers in their spotter stand for tonight's racing and throughout the season, I'm not sure how any of the team bosses keep track of where the allegiances are, but as long as the car wins, some people can be very happy, to say the very least. Right now, Roman, really good driver, and there's a reason he picked up good experience since about 4 or 5 years ago now with some RTP runs.
Wins are all that matters. Of course, he's living off that win that has seen him into the Championship 4 in this series. It means he doesn't particularly have to worry about where he finishes tonight. He's got a bit of a free hit to try and win again, because of course it's all about the win next week in the Championship 4 at Phoenix to decide Fun Length Cup Challenge champion in 2025. It's been a long season, 36 rounds of racing, all culminating next week at Phoenix, and this season stretching all the way to the start of February. It's a long ordeal, and all of that sort of work is going to be distilled into one night next week. It's going to be a fantastic finale.
Absolutely, Phoenix. I know a lot of people have been putting in work for some of that for weeks now, just with how excited they are about the racetrack in general. A little bit of a wiggle from Vroom Vroom. Dyson. Over the bumper. Still nothing doing. Still not able to build up the run. But still, these drivers as we go have coming up to 40 laps to go on the stage.
And just 30 until halfway, so still got a very long way to go here tonight, that is for sure. But at the moment, it's going to be just over a 3-hour race if this caution rate continues. See whether we get some longer runs in the second half of the race and the last 240 laps, because of course the stages that have broken up runs, or at least did one earlier, will not do the same. But the tension will ramp up, don't forget, and so maybe there'll be more created that way. There's still quite a lot in the race as well, despite the fact there's been plenty of cautions. Not many out from crash damage, maybe not as many as some would expect.
Yep, as we go. Look at that. Pardon me, just had the sneezes there. No one wanting to make a sneezing move, because if you sneeze on any of these drivers in some of these fights, well, they'll catch you sleeping when it comes to speed here. Bobby Anderson on a give and take right now. Owen Hodgson has the move. Bobby Anderson going to let the 12 go here. Bossman not wanting to hold up too many people in too many fights tonight, just wants to keep it clean.
You can again see why, because the physicality of Martinsville and just how you can get into fights with people so easily. Already seen that from Murray a little bit. And I think that is going to come back and bite him. So close to contact in towards turn 1 in this battle here.
Yeah. Towards the back of the field. Oh, there's the Archie-Barginus with the replay there. As Madero's got shuffled around, had to back out of the gas and let everybody go. Just tried to pass Simpson, and it didn't work out at all.
Serve into the wall and all sorts off of 2. It does feel like a different race sometimes further down the field. That's the way that they fight. Dyson and Vroman meanwhile are fighting. So Vroman's been leading for a while, but Dyson now takes it with just 33 to go until the stage.
Stage going by pretty quickly here tonight, here for the paperclip. Remember, for a lot of these drivers, they can go a far ways on fuel. It's expected to just be a one-stopper on the gas in the very long, very never-ending Stage 3 distance of 240 laps. Dyson in front as we go, by the way. Tries to hold court as we go. Over from Rome, was able to make the pass. Lap 226. That's where the switch came in, and now Dyson puts on the speed. Surprising he's doing so well with the 2 tires with the balance of the car.
Yeah, I am actually. I really would have thought that would start to fall away now, but maybe we're starting to see that it is just all in those 2 tires, those right side tires, where the speed is made here. I guess you're leaning on the front left on the way in there for braking performance, and then you're sort of leaning on the rear right for, sorry, front right, I mean, and then rear right as you're coming on the exit as well of 2 and 4. So it makes sense, I suppose, when you look at it like that, but like you, I'm surprised that he's holding up so well, because I'm not sure, he didn't do that at the stage, did he? Or he did it halfway through when there was a caution when everybody came in, but he's still holding up very well.
Right now, Matt's going to be one of the major things some of these teams are going to have to keep an eye on for the cut line, but take a look as Gitter tries to go onto the inside. Good race again for the Fortress machine. Patrick Gitter.
That early.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Has not been able to find his way to the front since.
No, not really. He's still got a good lead lap tally though, compared to the rest of the field. Can he get past Hoytsma here, who finds himself in exactly the same situation as he did at the end of stage 1, just clinging on to a top 5 position for all he's worth to try and salvage something here and keep his point situation alive at the end of that first stage. He was just 4 points in front of Hill. He's at least ahead of Hill and DiCiani here, the 2 behind him in the playoff standings.
No move done yet on screen. Each driver a lot of give and take. Benefield's been cutting his way to the traffic, by the way. Again, long run speed on a short track for the 83 machine. That's been the trend in a lot of races here this season. Two-time race winner, taking his time and taking names while doing so. Hasn't won a race since Iowa. And that was a race where he did have long runs prevail in the very end. Also one of the paperclip, as mentioned. He's closing up pretty fast here, and Gitter gives up after a while here.
He's still giving this a go, but he has given up on this bit of side-by-side here. It was going nowhere. He was continuing on side-by-side, but for no gain really. And so tucks back in, but at that time, Adam Benefield closes in. And again, he's not particularly worried about the stage points. In fact, he'd quite like this stage break to not be a thing actually right now, because as you pointed out, Benefield is very, very good on these long runs, very long runs, which we're starting to see the second of now. And the end of the first one was the end of stage one, which he won.
Yep. You're bumper to bumper. Benefield looking. Still not able to poke and prod yet, but seems to have better center roll. So that center speed isn't enough to get the job done if you can't get the corner exit speed to match in these battles. Less than 20 to go in the stage, coming up to less than 10 to go till the halfway mark.
So it has flown on by, I've got to say, here at Martinsville tonight. 500 laps, always a daunting prospect, but it's been very, very well driven from all of these drivers. You see here, laps led have been shared across the field, and still Gitter holds the most after leading about the first 72 in a row.
Yeah. It's been a lengthy run, our longest run by far of the night so far. Those on the fresh tires outside of Jonathan Delaney have not been able to really punch their weight inside the top 10. Ralph Hutchinson stayed 13th. DC Yanni, surprisingly, hasn't been able to do much. He stayed 14th. Was expecting a little bit more from the 4-car with the Forza speed tonight. Just how things can shake up with the strategy, how the equalization plays out on a track like this. Heavy traffic for some of these drivers to deal with, by the way. Andrew Dyson just got a little bit argy-bargy with some of that traffic up the road. They are about to reach Wallen and Hastings and company in that traffic jam. They've all, rather, the group we were just watching along with, everybody else about to get caught up in rapid fashion. If we do that, this race lead can get very unpredictable with traffic management.
Yeah, not only the race lead with Dyson and Broman, but this battle especially for third position. Anything could happen here. Remember, there's still 21 on the lead lap even after all of this, and that just shows you that we haven't had green flag runs yet required to actually put these drivers a lap down. And in any case, there is a caution to bring them back onto the lead lap anyway, whether that to be through the lucky dog or indeed through a normal wave around. So far, it's just been very, very difficult to put people a lap down. So Dyson is going to find this bit of pressure, but not as much as Hoytsma is, who again is at the end of another stage defending for his life.
One trying to push the envelope here at this point. Dyson holding on to more than a second the advantage just about as we turn on the track. A little bit of wiggles again for Lucas Hoytsma. Gitter, before they reach traffic, may think about using traffic as a buffer. Nearly sent to the fender. Lucas Hoytsma did give the space just in case. No force through as we'll reach halfway, this time through at the stripe.
Yeah, it's 250 gone. 250 to go from Martinsville. By the way, only just over 250 miles is the whole distance of this race, so it's not a mile-long circuit, but only means half mile, as we know. And look at this, more traffic for Hoytsma. This traffic a little bit less cooperative.
Oh, Hoytsma went hard left. Believe he avoided the wall for the most part. Did take a scrape to it. The 97 having a snap around there from all that pressure.
Well, he's finally succumbed to it. At the end of stage one, he managed to hold on to 5th position with all his defending. Well, that might be just about all he can manage here in this stage as well. 6th position where he finds himself now, and he'll do well to even win that 5th place back, as I say.
That incident really shakes things up a touch. Benefield trying to provide pressure still on Gitter. And this is for third. The stage will come to a close in less than 7 laps from now. Right now, Benefield not willing to use the bumper. He was very apologetic whenever he made contact last night in Friday Night Lights competition. He doesn't want to do this with contact. He wants to do it on raw speed. That's why the most he's getting is right about there on that distance to the bumper, within about maybe a 10th of a car length. And at this point, Gitter says, I recognize your respect on speed. I'll let you go.
Will Hill be let go as well? Because that could be a massive one for the stage points. At the moment, would be gaining just the 1 on Hoytsma and reducing that cut-off line as well. He'd be gaining 2 on Delaney as well and reducing the cut-off line, gaining 5 on DiCiani because he's outside of the stage points as things stand. 4 laps to go, including the one that they have just started here, and you can imagine Hill's going to push quite hard for this.
Yeah, Hill going to want to try and get as many points as possible with the gap situation. That's 3 to go in the stage. Can he get one more spot? A little bit too deep on the send. Forge's car of Gitter. Maintains, though, to the bumper. Just about there on the send. Pit road is closed. 2 laps to go officially in the stage. Andrew Dyson holding firm up in front as we get ready for the green and white checker flag for said stage. 1 to go. Stage 2 for car 41.
It's been a very good run towards the end as well. As he's seen off Roman here, Dyson has put the 2-tyre call very much into reality for these drivers. It is a feasible strategy that we might will see again later.
White checker flag. Andrew Dyson gets the stage over Nicholas Roman. Out of Benefield, Patrick Gitter, followed by Paul Hill, Lucas Hoytsma, Jonathan Delaney, Alex Murray, Quinton Hoffman, Nolan Hodgson. Your top 10 in stage number 2. So the second stage is complete, and we still have more than 200 laps to go on this adventure. We'll take a break. You're watching Maconi Entertainment for coverage of the FLCC.
You want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Restart time as we get ready for our coverage of the FLCC. Joseph Prince, Ewan O'Leary, DJ Lyon producing tonight. It's Dyson, it's Gitter on the front row for the restart. We're back underway. The inside gets a much better launch to begin. Paul Hill tries to find his way ahead. Adam Benefiel picked up a speeding penalty. That caution. So one of the fastest drivers long run starting at the tail for this sequence. Still side by side for second. As into the inside nearly goes Hoffman. Hoffman holds on, able to grip it up.
He slows down quite considerably though on the inside line, and so lets a whole load of drivers go on past him in the race at the front. Though Dyson leads the field and leads nicely as well in front of Gitter, and then you've got Hill in third position, who gained a few points on his points rivals in the fight for the championship for tonight in that previous stage, but he's still below the cut line as things stand. There's Hoffman in a must-win situation, so is Benefiel, but Benefiel came through in just 130 laps in the previous stage to challenge for some of the leading positions, so with 240 he should have more than enough time.
Gitter, new fastest lap of the race, 18.5s being set by some of these cars. That's an unreal pace, especially for the paperclip. Gitter isn't gaining though on Dyson because Dyson just went even faster with a 15.5, with an 18.527. Just absolutely ridiculous pace being sent down as Komachevsky getting passed by Vroman. Vroman also started towards the tail on this restart. He's bringing Benefiel hole to hole.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea for these two to run together at this stage. They're both strong drivers. They both have the same objective for this point in the race anyway. And so coming through the field together does make a little bit of sense. As another look through the inside, this time from Vroman. This time it's on Mesnard for 14th, and surely the next couple of corners, here goes Benefiel as well, down the inside himself, looking for 15th, and they will continue like this for as long as it suits them both.
Up and now, see how things shape up for the course this run as teams try and figure out where the game plan is. Keep in mind, if this run goes long enough, we will have to have pit stops. These fuel runs for these drivers can go up to maybe 140, 150, 160 laps. And it's a rarity to see that the paperclip. It's a rarity to think it can happen tonight, but eventually these drivers will have to at least game plan one pit stop into the race as the night goes on. And that's going to be important to time up right on fuel, but also your tire stint. So expect a couple potential pit stops with the amount of caution flags we can get.
Yeah, if we get cautions, you're right, we will see at least a couple of pit stops, and that's maybe why some of these drivers have been holding a few tyre sets back at this stage, but fear not, it won't be a green flag run all the way, it will be a caution just less than 15 laps in.
William Owens, Team Vortex machine. It's a self-spin this time, yet again, I believe. Multiple apologies on the radio from the 30.
Just loses it on the way in there, just carried on all the way through. He just touched the wall on the inside. No harm done to anybody else. I guess apologising for bringing the caution out entirely of his own accord there, but sometimes the car gets away from it, and you know, these things happen sometimes, especially here.
So back of the field, we'll pick Clinton Hoffman amongst those coming down after his bobble. And at this point, guess why not? In the case of the 92, try and make an adjustment here. That car nearly snapped around on the last run as it was. So a small little tire difference. Didn't have the track position in the first place. We'll try it again from about the tail, and Hoffman has not had the race he's needed here in terms of consistent track position for a driver down so many points as he was.
I suppose, as you say, it's sort of a case of, well, you might as well, if you haven't got the track position anyway, might as well come in for some tyres. But the difference will be so small compared to the other drivers who are actually out there on the circuit with track position at the moment, that, you know, it's almost not worth doing it at all, and maybe just taking the few places that you get from track position from a few people doing this pit stop. I can't imagine those tyres would have worn very much in 15 laps since they put them on.
Now, Fuel will get the chance to regroup here. It'll be a restart for Hoffman. Komacheski is fuel only in 17th. Dyson, Gitter, Hill, Delaney, Hoytsma, Murray, Hodgson, Pearson, DeCiani, Hutchinson. The way the top 10 shapes up for the upcoming restart. Dyson has been able to yard it out on the long run by a second or so. It's been hard to break away, Ewan. The lead's been relatively close all night.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many long periods of dominance either. Dyson has taken a stranglehold over this race for the last couple of moments, but, you know, who's to say how long this is going to last as he brings us to the restart zone again.
Green flag is out, back underway. Dyson with a huge runaway. Able to get the advantage as Hill is trying to move on forward on the inside. That Camry of Hill taking a flatter line. Hoytsma trying to find a way on through to Ginner, though, has the better runs off exit clearing, just about.
Yeah, he's just getting better exits at the moment, and Hill can't find his way through. Would have been very helpful for him to get up into second there and try and chase down the leader, but he can't do it at the moment. The points search goes on with Delaney and Hoytsma, the two he's chasing, directly behind him. He's not going to go through on points as it stands.
Yep, right now, everybody else just trying to get into a rhythm, into position. Murray near contact with Hodgson. Remember, already had contact earlier on tonight. The 7 and the 12. 12 machine. Not one to just send it through there, though. Wanting to at least have some clean battling as Murray tries to clear on by for the outside, all while Delaney and Hoytsma have wrapped around and cleared around on the bottom. Good effort being showcased the backdrop by that 7 to be able to squeeze as he can and hold that high side.
Well, just watch out for those two. 7 and 12 have already been together here tonight. Don't forget, Murray being into the back of Hodgson has been the primary way these two have been running, but side by side for once. Oh, Kidder got a huge slide off of 4 that time.
Yeah, wicked slides from some of the drivers here tonight. Still nothing cleared on by in this fight. Contact again. Hodgson holds onto the fender, and Murray does get the job just about done, but didn't slam the door in Hodgson's face. Will get it done now out of turn 2. All this is to say, Clayton Hoffman's going to be someone to keep an eye on if we do get a long run with those slightly fresher tires. He is picking off drivers in the back of the field from the high side as we're talking about things. He's already worked his way to 13th. The 92 in the background. There's a look at them. Passes by Hutchinson, in fact, for that spot.
It's an interesting run from Hoffman here, and as we commented, a very interesting indeed strategy that he's decided to employ for this stage in the race, but see where it gets him to as he trails Simpson here very, very close for 12th position. Currently, unfortunately, the worst placed of the 8 playoff drivers we've still got here running, by the way. None of them having trouble tonight in terms of incidents, not, damage related. See, seen some end of lines and stuff, but no major problems really.
Yep, right now, Hoffman needs to find a way to become the race leader in this circumstance. As the points run, Delaney +5, Hoytsma +3 as we go. And very rough situation here. I believe Dyson is just about in the log. It'd be a rough point tally here, but remember that stage win definitely helping his circumstance here. Looks like the 92. Not getting into the rhythm they're looking for. Opens the outside back up as Hutchinson taking advantage of that 92 bouncing off walls.
Yeah. Well, Hoffman should be able to clear again here, but finding this very, very difficult. Now does go to the outside and through. So Hoffman into 13th. Good overtake from him, but so much more progress yet to come. I mean, Adam Benefield's come from the back front from the end of the stage until now. That's only 30 laps to go, but he's already back inside the top 10. He's not quite making that sort of progress.
Yeah. Now, look to see things go. Dyson has been able to pull away 1.4 seconds this run all of a sudden, by the way. That's on short run. Dyson just flying around here while the rest of the field runs 19 flats, 18 nines for the 4. Most of the field having a hard time being able to keep up with that same tempo. That is a blistering pace on the short to mid run that we're starting to see some of the drivers be pushed into with the cooler temperatures.
Yeah, we are getting cooler as we go now. Getting towards 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's only going to dip from here. So 80 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. It's going to continue to go down from here, and these conditions in terms of rubber on the circuit just going to continue to get better as well. Still 200 laps to go as well, so plenty of time remaining, really.
Yeah. As they turn field starting to see some separations build up already. 12 seconds difference, first 22nd in amongst the field here. Some contact potentially on the radio, nothing doing though. Bobby Anderson holding on. Nicholas Vroman also being pushed up the hill in his respective battle right now. Adam Benefield holds on to 9th position. As we go, we actually passed by Vroom from his sequence. And again, I think if this gets to the point where we get more than 50, 60 laps, you have to talk about Benefield again. I know he's one of your favorites for the race tonight, but on a long run, he just knows how to get things to click. It just seems those Conti cars know how to fire off late.
I'm not sure what it is about him that's meaning he makes so many mistakes in pit lane at the moment and is dropping to the back again and again, but it could have been a lot more dominant from him if he'd have run up towards the front the whole way. He's not been able to do that. Less than 200 laps still to go now, and he just has a peek down the inside there of DiCiani, who's now inside the top 10 as well. He's making much slower progress up the field, and here comes Benefield down the inside of him into 8th place.
Benefield picking up these spots one by one. He's led 70 laps here tonight, by the way. For the most part, outside of Kyle Amon, who's led 1 lap, everybody else who's got it up front has essentially controlled this race for a certain period of time. Dyson, 87 now. Gitter, 72. Benefield, 70. Roman controlled for 66. Delaney's an error exception at 7. But that was on strategy. For the most part, if you can find your way up front, for the most part, the field has made it clear it's hard to pass them, and it's hard to keep up with those once they find and dictate the pace.
Well, speaking of finding and dictating the pace at the moment, Dyson has been doing so for the most amount of anybody so far tonight. 89 laps led this will be now for him coming over the line. Surely not too far away from 100, and at the moment he's showing no signs of giving this one up, even though he's got the points to be qualified into the championship 4 anyway. He's looking to seal it with a win.
Yeah, we'll see how far Benefield's able to get as he picks up another one. Pass after pass up the 7th. Closing up quickly to Murray, Hoytsma, and Delaney's pack. It's going to take a lot of effort, though, to be able to keep up with the speed of Andrew Dyson. how things are looking right now. 1.8 seconds, the largest lead by far of the entire night here tonight. Course of what is, for some of these drivers, 40 laps already here. Hoytsma! Big correction for the RHM car.
This is what Hill needs, by the way, as he tries to get himself into the championship four. Murray goes through, and Murray and Hodson are now separated for the first time in a little while. Well, Benefield obviously first did, but now they definitely are. Hoytsma is going to continue to go backwards because here comes Adam Benefield.
Yeah, Benefield again taking advantage of the wiggles. Those brake rotors just will not cool off for Hoytsma. He's really cooked the brakes. How hard he's had to hit them here today. Benefield, edge, clear. Able to get ahead.
Sixth place it is. Just over 4 seconds off of Dyson. When you consider 1.7 seconds the gap between first and second, you realise that for Benefield, it's just about picking off the places one by one, because there are not very many big gaps until he gets to that race leading gap. It's up to Dyson.
Yeah, right now it's going to be all the more difficult for things to solidify themselves here as we stand. Benefield just taking the shallow lines here with 188 laps to work with here from Martinsville Speedway. As we go, Murray trying to search for a little bit of clean air a little bit. That's hard to do here at the paperclip. The outside line can work a little bit at times for that. Murray trying it. And it isn't really gaining of the ground he's looking for yet on Delaney last time by at the stripe. 3 1/1000ths difference. Now the caution flag is out. Turn 4. It's Evan Mesnard this time. He was running around 18th.
And that looks like it might have even been, oh, was it contact with the wall? Maybe we've got another spin without any contact with the wall, unbelievably. We've been really getting away with those tonight. Not too many crashes at all, but lots of spins. And this is completely on his own. Oh dear, he's not even made the banking there. He has hit the wall a bit, but nothing too terrible. And yeah, that's unusual to miss the groove completely. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Ball out of the groove in this circumstance, into the marbles, in fact. Not a pretty sequence at all. Just way too high, and at that point, your car's not going to turn. You're that far up into the stuff. Everybody pit. Nobody risking to stay out here after that lengthy run. And now, everyone burning a tire set here. This like one of the couple pit stops at least expected here for the stage. As everybody taking 4 tires and fuel. Dyson first. Gitter, I believe second. Paul Hill, Jonathan Delaney, and Alex Murray. Top 5, Benefield gets the run over the 97.
Yeah, very unsurprising. The amount of pit stops that we've seen this time around, as you say, it would be a risk, in fact, to stay out and see another green flag run that would make you make a green flag pit stop, but nobody's going to let that happen to themselves, and so Dyson leads them all into pit lane. You'd imagine that will mean at least one more stop to go. I would have thought the next stop would actually come sort of any caution coming after that 130, 120, something like that to go, because at that stage they know they can definitely make it to the end.
Yeah, right now, the fuel estimate, by the way, is 157. Still well out of the grasp at this point for drivers to get there, so we absolutely appealing more time. Up front, it's Dyson, it's Gitter, it's Delaney, it's Hill, it's Murray and Benefield, Hoytsma, Hodgson, DeCiani, and Vroman. A part of your top 10 for the upcoming restart. Test time to see if anyone's been able to adjust to what the 41's been able to lay down here tonight. Flag is out. Back underway. So a good start for Dyson yet again as he tries to set away.
Can he get away though from the likes of Roman and Benefield, because those are the two who have really been quick tonight. Benefield again losing a couple of places in the pit stops, and look at the midfield pack he's in at the moment. With just over a third of this race to go, it feels like the intensity just ramped up a little bit at the front.
Yep, there's Paul Hill. Inside line, trying to clear. Can he get the clearance on Delaney? Yes, he can. So Paul Hill, everything all good here. The Dead Slayer machine has definitely been good here all throughout the night tonight. Don't wiggle it out though. Good save, how to get off the throttle there to hold on to it.
According to my points, by the way, if he finishes third here and Hoytsma stays in sixth place, which he's currently battling with Murray over, then that would be a tie between the two. This is how close it is for these guys who are running up towards the front. These positions absolutely matter, and Delaney and Hill are two of those fighting for those final spots in the championship four.
Know how close the point situation is getting here. Hill needs to find a way to get himself to the point here with how things have gone here. Don't know if he's got a race-winning car, though. That is the big thing out of everything else here tonight with how things have gone here in this one.
Yeah, I mean, winning you're in, so having a race-winning car would be ideal, but may not even be what's required here. Delaney tries to squeeze Hill as much as possible off of two, and he's got a long way in front. Hill's just not quite letting him go yet.
Yep, Delaney with the power up down, and this time it's Lucas Hoytsma trying to use the outside, but a caution. Aerial flag, and it's another spin for one of the drivers towards the back of the field. 24th, Kyle Amon.
Seems that he's immediately towed as well. Back to pit lane. During one of the few drivers who are out of this race so far. I'd say relatively few, you'd have to say, considering the amount of cautions we've had.
They get hit to the left rear. Watch why, right here.
And then gets stuck on the inside of the corner, so decides that, excuse me, getting the tow would be better. See whether there's any damage to that car that came through and hit him in the left rear as well. It seemed to be a glancing blow, really.
Yep, indeed. Want to take the opportunity to talk to somebody, anybody in this field as we go. Was going to talk over to Andrew Dyson, but I believe race control with Bobby Anderson is actually trying to talk with him as we go here. So we'll move down the order and try something a little bit different here. One of the drivers doing well here. We'll see if we can get a very quick word. Or Jonathan Delaney. Jonathan Delaney, do you have a quick copy? Jonathan Delaney, you are muted.
Oh, how's it going, guys? Sorry.
Very quick right here as we get ready for a restart here. How have things been shaping up here for your car? I know the point situation very tight for you.
Yeah, it's very tight between me, Lucas, and Paul. So, car is, being honest with you, it's not handling too good. We're not that fast compared to Dyson, Gitter, all these other guys. So, we're gonna try and keep working at it, try and figure something out, try and get it better and better each pit stop. So, we still got a long way to go, 170 some laps. So, we're gonna keep working at it, try and keep this track position. I'm sure there's gonna be some strategy involved too. So, yeah, pretty nervous, but I think we'll be all right.
So what's the approach now for the restart, real quick?
Just try and keep at least third. That'd be ideal, and keep Paul behind me. So, yep.
Once you get to the restart, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
The Orange Champ Machine talking very quickly with us. So 170 to go coming up at the stripe. More than the length of an A open here left for these cars to destroy their equipment or keep it clean. It could go either direction. It is the paper clip after all. Here comes Dyson for the restart. Yet again, just no one able to keep up off the launch.
No, not for the moment. Dyson's really started to find a stranglehold over this race through the middle portion, but he'll have to keep that all the way to the finish now, as getting through on the inside is Delaney. It's a good restart. He says just looking to keep track position. Well, he's advanced his track position on this restart.
Yeah, again, good start for the 6. Able to get the second. But as he said, it's going to be difficult to keep up with long run speed with that 41, who went up by 1.8 seconds earlier on. Benefield, by the way, top 5 for him. He's got it around Paul Hill. He's busy trying to battle with Vroom Vroom. So the Conti machine is on a roll yet again, and he might be one of the few who has an opportunity to contend in the long run if he gets track position. We'll have to see. There's the fire off that is such a big difference for the rest of these drivers compared to the 41.
Hill's going further and further backwards here, by the way, as down the inside there goes DiCiani. Is he finally finding some speed as Hill goes up the hill, and Hodgson's going to come through. Murray as well. Those two seem absolutely glued together, by the way, in the 7 and the 12. Finally, Hill stops going backwards. He's now down to 8th position, though.
Seeing that right now with the outside line. Murray. Can Murray find a way to close around? Hodgson gets loose. Yes, he will. So the PRVA car of Murray clears on by with that wiggle. Alex Murray has been a top 10 car throughout the evening, holds on to 9th, trying to get back in the top 10. Clayton Hoffman, meanwhile, he has not necessarily been a lock top 10 machine with how the wiggles have hit his way, with some of the wall hits, with some of the struggles in the midst of traffic. The 92 having some issues trying to get wound down there for a moment off corner exit, for example.
Yeah, he's in a must-win situation tonight, Hoffman. And so he's got to make up 10 places and get up into the lead. And so far, I'm not sure he's quite had the speed to do that, really. He's shown glimpses of decent speed, but has he shown race-winning speed yet? I'm not quite so sure he has. We'll wait and see by the end of the day whether that rings true or not. You can see him, though, one of the most impressive drivers in terms of making his way through the field, anyway.
Up is now. Murray tries the outside, nothing going for him there. All this is to say, this has gone on here tonight. DiCiani is now taking his time to get back up here, but is indeed back in position, doing well up at the front. Paul Hill nearly hit him in the background there. Lucas Weitzman, though, looking to try and at least contend for one of the 2 championships in full-length challenge competition. 14 top 5s, 23 top 10s, 2 wins on the season for the 97. Talladega last time out, top 10 finish, finished 3rd at Vegas, finished 8th at Charlotte as well. He, throughout this entire postseason, has finished every race in the top 10 the 97 has.
It shows you why he's in the battle for the championship forward, doesn't it? And indeed above the cut line coming into today, although it was only by a single point. He's been very, very consistent, but is that going to be enough for him as Benefield gets to the inside of him, and now he's up to 4th place.
Continuing to pick them off one step at a time here. Last time by, he was within a 10th of Daiso's pace on the racetrack. 2nd place. Look at this undercut. Trying to get the diamond line for the corner exit getter. finding a little bit of a dip to get corner exit speed, but nothing has gotten alongside Delaney yet. That 6 able to just park it in front.
He's doing a good job of defending, and when you haven't got quite the car underneath that you want, as we heard from Delaney there just under that previous caution, that wasn't totally delighted with the way that his car was running. Then try and hold on to the track position and defend sternly is all you can really do, and he's been successful in that so far, keeping it behind.
It's the reason he's an NASCAR veteran, or rather someone who at least appeared in the NASCAR competition a few years ago. Looking like the dive is on. Flat line, Gitter gets the crowbar out, getting a little bit impatient.
There he comes. Again off of 4. Surely he's going to have it now. And Gitter is through. Now, Benefield's got to try and follow, because the gaps otherwise to the likes of Dyson up ahead are only going to grow. And here he comes through 1 and 2. Following through on the inside, up into 3rd.
Yep, another pass made, and another swift move. Gitter, second spot 2 as they go. 150 to go at the stripe. It's an A open, left to go. Just look at how much the marble buildup has gone on that yellow going on the bottom of the racetrack at this point. That is so much marble buildup to the inside. You can build a snowman with all that rubber.
Yeah. Although you wouldn't want to, it's quite hot at the moment. But so don't pick it up. But it is proper lumps out there. And again, it's one of the great things about RSC, isn't it? The track evolution. It's been in iRacing for a very long time now, but it's getting better than ever. And the outsides of the corners, whether that be in road racing or indeed over racing, do get very, very stricken with the worn-out rubber on the outside lines. The way the track is just a lot darker of a shade than it was earlier on in the day when we began this race just after 2 o'clock in sim time.
See how the gap is growing, 1.5 to make it 1.6 seconds. Yeah, this is the interesting part of the focus to more of the day windows compared to the nighttime windows with simple broadcasts in real life, hence why it's a day race. Sunday night football is also a thing, so, you know, football. But it's a bit of a different feel compared to in the past years, the nighttime under the lights racing we've seen for the fall race that set the stage for some epic finishes. Gitter opens up the bottom, got wiggled, and Benefield is to second, and now can the 83 knock down some time and get to the 41?
And this is the big closing battle now. I mean, they've not been wheel to wheel yet, Dyson and Benefield, but we've seen it plenty of times in the past that they have been, and it's been always exciting racing to watch, and this is going to be huge for the race now. If Benefield can show that he can get into that second position and actually run down a multiple second lead of Andrew Dyson out front, then that would be massive for this race and a real statement that Benefield is the fastest driver on this circuit. There he is, 8 thousandths gained on that lap.
Yeah, a little bit, but not enough to have a true chance. 19 flats still for your leaders, more than 40 laps on the tires. This time through, 19 flat to a 19.074. It's slowly being trimmed down. It's slowly but surely that will get the job done.
Don't forget the playoff implications of this. He came into tonight 49 points below the cut line. He could not go through on points, but with winning you're in. You can get into the championship 4 by winning this penultimate race of the season, even with a lower points tally than every other driver in this playoff standing at the moment. The 8 drivers who are in this round of 8. And at the moment, Benefield is racing down towards Dyson. This is Broman versus Hoytsma, by the way, for 5th.
Hoytsma doing a solid job trying to defend points here. As things stands, would outscore who we need to outscore in Hill. Regardless of the pass, but the bigger the cushion, the better for the 97. Room for him. Still given a lot of space here, does not want to force this 97 up the hill and cost him too much time here.
It's taken quite a long time, though, unfortunately, for Broman to get past Hoytsma. They were side by side just as Benefield got past Gitter and started to race down Dyson. They're still side by side now. So Hoytsma finally now is going to be able to get his nose in front. Can he get his whole car in front and pull in front towards turn number 1? On the brakes here. He's not quite committed to it yet. Still up on the high side, just slowing them all down.
Yeah. DeCiani slams door on Hill's face. Again, we're inside the pit window from here on out. It's going to get curious how long this race ends up going from here on forward with the run. It's up to the field from here. Oh, by the way, as things have gone, that delta has gone back Dyson's way as Dyson has stayed the most consistent. Murray still pushing in the 9th position. Still trying to poke and prod on Hill. And remember, it's race how you want to race. That was the discussion point earlier between these two cars.
Yeah, absolutely. And Murray seemingly wants to race aggressively. Those comments are not deterring him at the moment. To be fair, we haven't seen him make contact with anybody for quite some time now. So maybe we're sort of commenting more on old news. But here he goes. Oh, he slides! Oh, my word, that's a big slide in towards 3 and 4. And somehow he doesn't make contact with Hill. Instead, he's passed by Hodgson for 9th.
Murray trying to get underneath Hill. Big slide. What a save by Alex Murray. Does cost him a couple spots here now behind Hodgson, but as they go, try and see where things situate. Lap traffic already being dealt with by some of the race leaders already here this run. Benefield did fall back to more than 2 seconds back. Now it's back to less than 2 seconds. This going back and forth on the interval. Again, Benefield back on the track. They are going to have to deal with the traffic again. Every time we're about to reach the lap traffic, it seems a caution flag comes out. But this time for sure, if it stays green, they'll have to deal with a lot of it. We're talking about as many as 8-9 cars lined up in a train.
Yeah. I mean, I'm amazed with
Hold on, front straight away. Nolan Hodgson has damage on cue. Alex Murray has apologized on the radio because he just sent the 12 down on the curbs who got sent up into the wall with Daniel Wallen. No caution, we stay green.
Oh, dear me. Hodgson has been hit by quite a few drivers tonight. That's in towards 3, and then as he's rejoining here, Rainley gets swiped as well, but this is pretty rude. And that is the 7 car getting into Hodgson again.
Yep. And Nolan Hodgson's front end is demolished here. He was having a solid night. That solid night is toast.
Yeah, well, this circuit's no stranger to retaliation, so I'm hoping we're not going to see that tonight, but it is one of the more iconic moments of this sport, so just pointing out there.
Are you trying to say what I think you're trying to say?
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just, I'm not saying anything. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything, but that is all I'm saying.
Sure thing, Matt Kenson, Joey Logano moment. Okay. All of that is well. There's Dyson. Dyson now has Stephen Williams in front. Then the whole choo-choo train brigade to deal with here. Stephen Williams has been here tonight. That's a compliment, as the 98 will actually lose itself a lot of time, more than a second, to the rest of the battle pack by falling a lap down. So into the lucky spot, dog spot goes Williams. Not too many cars have been 1 lap down, surprisingly, tonight, unless they've had a massive incident here. A lot of more than 1 lap downs. Daniel Wallen's been perpetually several laps down.
Yeah, and then, seems to win some back sometimes as well, but at the moment he's 2 laps down. And there are a few more drivers finally going a lap down here, so it's taken us to the final quarter of this race. We're 3/4 of the way through now, and finally now we're getting some, recognised lap down drivers. Which is extraordinary we've been able to go this far, really. With this is what stage racing does, really. Keeps a lot of drivers on the lead lap from start to finish, really. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of that element of it, really. But finally now we are starting to see a long green flag run and some people put a lap down. Because ultimately that is part of racing as well, finding your way through the lap traffic, and it's a shame the leader hasn't had to do that so far.
If you lose a lap here, it's so hard to recover unless you get the lucky duck spot. Kyle Mott, by the way, who's been in pit road this whole time, has finally blown the motor. That's why you see the ball flag. Ignore that. As we go, Coleman rides through for now. And he's been kind of aero-locked. Dirty air has been a huge factor in this. See right here, car just wants to tug on you, tug, tug, tug. You can't get the good run if you get it timed up without a massive slide, though. That opens up the door for side-by-side.
He's got his nose in front pretty quickly there on Hoytsma, who is currently in a position to advance as things stand. If he finishes ahead of DiCiani and Hill, he certainly will do. And that's exactly where he finds himself. But DiCiani and Hill are queued up right behind Roman, so that's what he's being really careful of, and that's why he's fighting this so hard.
Pink Machine able to clear up by Roman in the top 5. Looking like that car at least will have the chance to stay up there in the long term. With the race lead difference, by the way, with lap traffic, Benefield has gained 2/10 of a second on Daiso. Those curious how things have gone. You've seen the end on the interval. It was down to as low as under 1.5 seconds. Daiso is reaching some of the traffic at some bad spots. The thing is, Benefield has to deal with that same traffic in very similar spots. He lost the 10th, for example, by reaching lap traffic off the corner exit. Corner exit can cost you that time through. He gained the 10th while passing Owens in a great spot.
Yeah, and it is more easy when you are passing in second position for obvious reasons. You want to stay on the lead lap, so you do defend from the race. Well, not defend, but you do put up a bit more of a fight to the race leader than what you do to the rest, because you know that it doesn't matter whether you're lap down to second or not. And again, while he's gaining time through traffic, or gaining position through traffic, he is also gaining time here, is Benefield. That was a good run through that little clump there.
Able to get through the cluster. Gap is down to under 1.3 seconds. Getting better and better here. Caution flag is out. This changes everything. This will get everyone good on fuel, and another spin for the 73 of Evan Mesnard. Another one.
There's the lap down again in 73, and might well stay out under this caution to get that back again, because I suspect, as you say, with the pit window certainly now fine, everybody will come in to honour that and take their final fuel of the race. Maybe their final tyres as well, but probably not. They will take more, I would imagine. But for now, it's going to be another tyre change led on by Dyson, who is first in pit lane.
And Dyson speeding. Dyson went too fast in the middle sectors. So the 41 will lose all the track position and hand it to Adam Benefield. If Benefield does not make a mistake, Benefield multiple times tonight has gotten speeding. 35 miles an hour is the speed limit, and these segments are very strict here at the Paperclip. Benefield the first out. Will he be the first off the lane? On track he will not be. Don't push it. Side by side, Dyson gets the edge, and he'll find out Benefield is now the leader.
Wow. That is huge for this championship and huge for this season, because if he were to win this race, and all of a sudden the points will get thrown up into the air as well. But he's got a long way to go until he can call himself the race winner tonight, that's for sure. He's got a very, very long way to go. We'll see just how he gets on this restart for a start, because I'm not sure we've seen him restart a race from the front yet.
Yeah, well, it's going to be, for the first time in a while, some lead laps for the 83 machine. He's got 110 laps to do this job. But Jonathan Delaney, Patrick Gitter, Nicholas Roman amongst those who will be right behind him in the upcoming restart. Wave arounds for a couple drivers to get themselves back in the lead lap. And I believe Brandon Hastings just got himself lapped in the pit cycle. He tried to speed to pass by everybody, but everybody's going faster on the racetrack than they are down pit road. All that being said, the last spot coming into tonight leads things off here for the restart. This would knock Hoytsma technically out if Benefield was to hold. 109 laps to go from Martinsville. Green flag is out. Benefield gets the jump. Passing our yellow for Brandon Hastings at the back of the field, but Patrick Gitter tries to clear in the middle of it.
He's been one of the reliable challengers to the race leader, especially in the first 100 laps of this race, but not since. We'll see whether he can bookend this race with 100 laps towards the finish by challenging for the lead here as well. Newly helped by Adam Benefield.
No, Benefield can sail in the long run. Delaney trying to find a way to get around. He needs to pick some point buffers up. Hoytsma, meanwhile, needs to get his way to the front, and that 97 has decent speed for RHM here tonight, getting boxed in the queue. No place to clear. Gitter still alongside Delaney.
Still not quite clear yet. And Delaney, of course, doesn't want to let this get too out of hand either, of course, because Benefield winning would put him suddenly in fourth place and in the danger of being below the cut line. So he would still be fine, but he wouldn't be comfortable, especially with Hoytsma so close behind. He's close in with Vroman, and look at that, Vroman on the outside, trying to get past Delaney, who's trying to get to the bottom and now does.
There's a squeeze. Now, Jonathan Delaney able to get the edge up front. Vroman got pushed in the wall himself, though. A little bit tight through 3 and 4 from Vroman. Clears on by with the outside push.
That's good pass, good getting clear on the way towards turn number 1 there, Vroman. Just in behind Delaney, and ahead of Hoytsma, who will be feeling nervous with the Benefield win. He is out, but it's a long way to go, as Dyson has to work his way back through the field. There he is getting into 12.
See that towards the back of the field. Dyson was very frustrated with himself with the radio. He has officially been given the bad language flag as a result of the tempers that flared up from it. Little bit of argy-bargy. We have one to the wall. Who is that? It's Benefield from the race lead. Adam Benefield has had a problem. Adam Benefield looked to be taking off, and he is done.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's his season right there. With 100 laps to go at Martinsville, 100 laps to go in the penultimate race of the season, and everything he's been working towards in this series since early February has just gone in this moment here towards turn 3. He's on the brakes, he's locked, he's gone straight on, straight into the fence. And he didn't seem to have too much control of that car, to be honest, as it went in.
That had to have been technical. There is no way you just drive full straight on into the wall like that unless something breaks.
It did look like something broke, didn't it? But what a shame for him. He was in that position to go on and win here, and indeed make it to the Championship 4, but that is going to be it for his season with the meatball that he's got now down on pit lane repairing.
just stunning. We'll take a break. Under 100 to go. Gitter leads from Martinsville.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back after a stunning incident. Adam Benefield, who was one of the best long-run cars all night and needed to win and get in, was in the lead, in position, just needed to hold on for 100 more laps, try and get the most laps led, and it turned into disaster straight onto the outside wall. An immediate tow and technical issues. Benefield is done for the night. So there goes his chances for the playoff. It's Patrick Gitter, it's Jonathan Delaney up in front. Green flag is out, 97 to go. Llewellyn and our black flag.
Yep, already unfortunately 3 laps down for him, so that won't affect too much, but what a big moment for this race. Gitter now leads again. It's like the early laps. In the first 100 laps he was leading. For the 75 laps he led pretty much entirely on his own. Now he's leading again in the final 100 laps when it really matters. The intensity ramps up here at this time, and there's contact. Delaney's in the wall now. Delaney, who is trying to make it in on points tonight, fights the wall hard, and he's got big damage in the 6 car. Huge damage on that car.
Absolutely decimated, and another driver. Delaney is sailing out from the playoff bubble. He was only +5 after stage 2. And now he has significant chassis issues. An RHM car who is going for the race lead, he's now fallen out of contention and is possibly out.
It's contact with the 95 of Groman. Just makes slight contact with him. Delaney corrects the other way into turn 2. And the angle at which he goes in at turn 2 there is hard. He tries to turn in for 3, it just isn't happening. He has got big front right damage, and this is going to be a long repair for the 6 car as well.
Incident after incident, 2 playoff contenders in the span of less than about 10-15 laps with meatball flag crashes. This postseason's just been flipped upside down, and now it gets interesting with Hill and DeCiani's situation. Paul Hill is the one that, in theory, would be in the driver's seat for the last spot now with Delaney's crash here. But a lot can still change, though. If anything else was to happen, a non-playoff driver is the leader still.
Will we see a playoff driver get themselves towards the front to steal this one away as through on the inside line? That is Hill going through past Hoytsma. Murray also past Hoytsma. I wonder whether Hoytsma's realised this situation now with them, Delaney and Benefield out of the picture. Suddenly it becomes a lot more comfortable. Hoytsma is 13 points in front of DeCiani coming into this. Coming out of that second stage. Oh, more trouble into 1.
Caution flag is out this time in 1, and it's Ralph Hutchinson who's gone around. Caution flag on the speedway. Let's take a look as the 8 has gone rolling.
Seems to be some early contact on the straight here to me. See if the 41 of Dyson is responsible for it. Comes towards turn 1. He is responsible for it. Unfortunately, that was on Dyson.
That was a big shunt, yeah. That was an early break, but it was also, as there's a counterpoint, responsibility of the driver behind. Gonna have to see this from farther out here. Get a true sense of the braking mark. We know Daiso is not afraid to dig. Benefield has returned to the racetrack, by the way, but it's still with Meatball.
He just lifts off a bit early here in the 8 car, doesn't he, I suppose, and straight into the back of him. But as you say, there is the responsibility on the car that's trying to make the pass to get out of line in that situation and make the move cleanly. And unfortunately, that wasn't done on that occasion. But well, I've got to say, the first 400 laps of this race, it was fine. It was Martinsville racing, whatever, but it did lack championship drama. My goodness, have we had it in the last 10 laps.
Benefield has taken the opportunity to apologize to the field, by the way. He has confirmed that there was a screen freeze in that situation that sent him into the wall, Ewan. That is not what you want to see. I know some people have had, with the intensity of iRacing as of lately, with all the updates, some freezes. To have a freeze from the lead into a braking zone like that is just true disaster. I know a lot of people in Talladega had a hard time. Martinsville, you just can't afford it in a braking zone.
Yeah. I mean, you can't afford it on any track really. Even you might get lucky at Super Speedway like Talladega or Daytona that it's on a straight, but doesn't, you know, it's even then not very helpful to have those. And yeah, as you say, that has been a bit of a problem in the last 6 weeks or so. And unfortunate, really, that it is affecting championships. As I mentioned, everything that Benefield's worked for in this series since early February has effectively come down to these final couple of weeks here, making it into the final 4 tonight in the Martinsville, and then the championship 4 next week as well at Phoenix. But unfortunately, the first leg of that is not going to be completed, and he'll be out the playoffs tonight.
Still 84 to go. What has been a massively shooken up postseason for this round of 8 all of a sudden. 2 different drivers with issues. Patrick Gitter leads up front though. Nicholas Vroman in second. Paul Hill up in the top 3. Where will things go after this run? Hill trying to find a way to clear for second, side by side.
I think Vroman's going to have this, but he needs to have some good exits off of 2 and 4. He's got his nose in front at least. Can he squeeze Hill? Not really. He's still getting the exits though. That's all he needs for the moment. But he just needs to squeeze Hill a little bit more through the corners, and there's a little bit more of a squeeze. Still not quite doing it. Still not quite through. Trouble in the background. Big trouble.
Parking lot time. Madero's and Munstow's around, and 3 and 4. Under caution, Jacob Simpson was the spark. The match was Komacheski. That was lit a fire. Bobby Anderson also sent a spin.
Well, that's probably the bigger incident we've seen so far in terms of the amount of cars involved. Doesn't quite tell the whole story, I don't think, with the amount. Maybe I was overselling it by looking in the background. It was certainly lively on the way towards 3 and 4. 2 cars sliding on the way, and though really causes a whole chain reaction.
Absolute pandemonium pops up there, and that will mean a lot of pit stops for repairs here. Earlsdown at one point was up in the plus 15s, gets ping-ponged and into the TWRS back machine. EMP car with a hit. By the way, this run, Nicholas Vroman, the only driver up front who made scheduled service. Everybody involved in pit stops this time had damage repair to do. Vroman had an 11-second stop after a 30-lap difference, and we'll see if that works. It worked out the last time for Vroom and some of the drivers on 2 tires. We do have Adam Benefield standing on by, though.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see if we can speak with Adam Benefield. Adam, do you have a copy?
Yeah.
From what we heard on the radio, you had a screen tear. Just talk us through the emotions here on the situation when you were leading and having this pop up.
Hey, it's the first time it's ever happened, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, I mean, I went down into turn 3 and it just, like, the freeing completely, it didn't black or anything, it just froze. Everything froze, and I could hear it, and all of a sudden I heard it hit the wall, and I'm like, ain't nothing I could do about that. come in here with our backs against the wall, knew what we had to do, and we were doing it. But we were exactly where we needed to be, and I felt like we had the best car, especially on an extreme long run. I felt like Dyson was good at the beginning and short or mid run, and then we were better when it got to the back half. And then with him pitting, I mean, I felt like I was, in the catbird seat. I was exactly where I needed to be to go through. But dude, I mean, I don't know what the hell I need to do to catch a daggone break, but it ain't meant to be.
On the bright side, you are battling for a Friday Night Lights championship next Friday. And you said you are him yesterday on that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was about to show you tonight that I am him, too. But, technology had different thoughts.
Well, thank you much for your time, Adam. We'll let you get back to your team.
Thanks, brother.
Out of Benefield. Here are the emotions. Good restart, but not so good now. Jacob Simpson is around again. Back-to-back caution flags for the 2.
Yeah, and you just wonder whether this is the future of this race now with 75 to go, whether this is just going to continue to happen, because while we have seen a fair amount of caution, steady caution stream in the first 400 laps, none of them have really damaged anybody out the race, so this may well happen a lot more as drivers get more aggressive, coming off of 2 and coming off of 4, getting on that right foot. That was too aggressive from the 2 car, and he goes around in a pretty simple solo spin there.
And EOL for Simpson, who just entered a closed pit road, or at least sped, but went from a clean, keeping a clean run middle to a crash field end. 2 will now have to get the beaten and battered car repaired out. Seems still struggling to get in the pit stall a little bit there. Race control is now giving warnings because of all the caution flags popping up with 74 laps to go. And now it's about trying to figure out a way around Patrick Gitter, because we know Gitter's got great speed here, but the long run has been a bit of a part of the test. He's led 100 laps, even though you don't lead 100 laps with a slow race car.
Yeah, exactly. So he's clearly got a fast car, but as you say, the long run is the problem. I don't think he will mind that, though, because short run speed is what you're going to need now towards the finish. I just can't see a way in which this race goes 73 laps to the end. To be honest, I'd be surprised if we make it to 50 to go without seeing another caution at this stage. Maybe I'm being overly negative, but I think this is going to be the theme of the race now. Very short green flag runs, and that might actually suit Gitter quite well in the last 73 laps as we have now.
1 to go signal, 72 to go when we get back going. Jacob Simpson is staying down pit road for extended service. Hill right now is in the point spot. Hoytsma now in a must-win possible spot. There's so much that can happen in terms of some of the indecisiveness that can pop up in the points now. We are down to a grand total of 16 on the lead lap. Doheny is running, by the way. He is 17th. Like, we need some miracles, depending on how things go. But back underway. 21 to Gitter. Up front, Hill holds on a second. Murray cuts to the bottom and blocks off Dyso. As Dyson, with a bit of contact, Hoytsma moved up the racing groove.
Another driver was in the midfield as well here. 3 wide, almost on the way towards turn 1 now. As the battles ramp up again. Hoffman is moving into the top 10 again. He's another winning you're in driver. If he could get to the lead, then that would certainly make a lot more people nervous. But at the moment, he's only in 8th place.
Has been able to migrate his way to the front. Vrillman, on his 2-tire call, has been able to get through some of the fluff. Murray sets the fastest lap all of a sudden. Hold on. The 7 has now got some giddy up into the 4s. The first driver to do so there. So a lot of drivers starting to come up late with these temperatures on the track really cooling down. It's the coolest it's been, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. As we approach 5 p.m. in Sim, Dyson responds for the fastest lap.
Yeah, and you can just see the intensity is just ramped up as well. I don't think it would matter what the temperature was, even if it had been slightly warmer than it had been earlier. The fact that this is the point in the race where they can see the finish line, if you like. It's in sight now, and so therefore the intensity just ramps up a little bit more once again, and that is playing a big role in this as well, as Vroman comes to the inside of Hoffman here, further putting the 92 down into a difficult situation here in its win and you're in day. Yeah, 9th place and a few seconds off with just not the car quite to win this race.
Oh, some contact for second. Paul Hill just pushed up on the hill and got hit by Murray. Apologies over the radio, and Murray says you're good, and Hill lets him pass. Murray to second, and Daiso looking to take advantage for third, as Hill getting bounced around here.
Yeah, he is a little bit. Don't forget, he needs a top 7 to be guaranteed playoffs with the current situation. DiCiani 7 points currently behind him. Hoytsma needs to be top 13, so he's in a very comfortable position at the moment, despite the fact that Matt DiCiani has found some speed here and he's in the top 5, challenging Hill. Hill doesn't need to be involved in this battle really. He can lose positions to DiCiani as things stand, and he has lost one now.
Yes, and now Hill, a little bit of ground. DiCiani right now is the driver behind him that needs to close around in the point standings. DiCiani, for reference, is running in the top 4. It's going to be so hard to figure out who needs to finish where is the main thing right now, because it was +7 coming in, top 7 and 8 or 8. You'd think the job is done here for Paul Hill in theory, Ewan. He's right behind the 4 though, and it all really changes depending on who takes this race lead here is the biggest thing out of all of this, quite simply.
Yeah, that is going to be a massive factor here. Let's see what's looking more likely at the moment, just in these last 50 laps or so, is that a non-playoff driver is going to win. Dyson may be putting an end to that in the next few moments, because his speed is starting to bring him back towards the front all over again here, and that might just give Gitter and Murray a wake-up call, if you like, or reality check. But so far it's been non-playoff drivers leading for quite some time, and at the moment unchallenged, but Murray in second place is now starting to feel that challenge from Dyson with 60 to go.
Dyson really wants to find a way to pound ahead. Big test right now if he can get around some of these cars. We know how fast the 41 was on the back end of some of these runs. Right now as this goes though, Murray losing about half a tenth to a tenth a lap, a bit loose. Dyson not able to take advantage yet, but the 7 is starting to slide around a bit.
Again, getting on the power as early as possible, sliding on the way out. That's what happens when you are getting towards the end of a run like this. And Dyson is just applying that pressure, and it's getting to him. But he needs to get this move done quickly, and that's where the pressure gets pushed back onto Dyson again, because Gitter is continuing to extend her lead, and that's good driving from him. Don't rest on your laurels that you've got the lead right now and it's extending on its own. Try and drive that advantage home and put the pressure back onto Dyson.
Yes, and now looks like Dyson ready to go, nearly to the bumper. Just about moved the 7 out of the way for a moment. Doesn't come into play quite yet. All of this as well, Hoytsma has been moved up the hill. Roman able to pass on by. Pearson actually the pass too. Not a bad end of the race for the 62 rather, as we go. And remember, Pearson involved in some of the trouble earlier. Not really the best of short track racers, but doing well tonight. He's normally been a good road course racer.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time for a good run towards the end of the season. time to be good at road courses as well towards this point as well. It's only a few weeks ago we were at the Roval, don't forget, in the final round of the round of 12. It's always exciting, these final rounds of playoff runs, these playoff 3 races, always designed to be slightly odd circuits to provide the best racing, and certainly in the last 50 laps as we approach the final 100 at Martinsville tonight, we finally got that playoff drama we've been waiting for.
Coming up to 51 laps to go in this race. Patrick Gitter, for those tuning in, controlling things, not a playoff driver. Looking to try and win back-to-back races in the round of 8. Close things out. Some of the drivers that look to be comfortable spots earlier on, just 50 laps ago, like Delaney and Benefield, not so comfortable anymore amongst those you take out of the conversation. So this postseason has had some wild moments, especially here tonight at Martinsville in the later stages. Dyson just about has the lock and has the points right now to get it no matter what the situation is here tonight. Looking to at least get our win. He's been good at tracks with concrete this season, with speedways. And now he looks to try and use those concrete corners to his advantage to make an arm pass here. Still hasn't been able to pressurize the 7 yet.
Yeah, he's just, well, not into a mistake anyway. He's certainly heaping the pressure on, but so far Murray's surviving it, and well, I don't want to say quite embracing it, that might be going a bit too far, but he's certainly dealing with it, coping with it well. Dyson now is just going to have to get inventive. Good straight exit off of 4. He's quite close in towards 1 here to have a dive if he wants to, but Murray's line there going very shallow on the way in isn't helping. Now he's going for a cutback. Again, a bit road course style. Here comes Dyson. Is he going to go to the inside at 3? This time he will.
Able to get alongside. Dyson looking to try and find his way ahead. Dyson makes the move on Murray. See that coming just with the speed Dyson's had here tonight in that Reichel power plant.
Just maybe that's perfectly timed, Justin, because look at the traffic just up in front here. It's back to like what we saw in previous green flag runs, only it's happening a lot quicker this.
Seeing right now how will Gitter handle the traffic this time. Second most laps led. Dyson has that amount on lock though. 2 fastest drivers of the night on laps led. Look to duke it on out, and Gitter needs to get around this traffic with no issues here. He needs as much distance as he can over Dyson. Dyson though has gained 1/10 already in the span of 1 sentence. That's going to be chipped away rapidly over the course of the run. If you count a 10th a lap, 14 laps, you're talking about 30 laps to go. That you're talking the 41 could be on the bumper here if that consistently is gained.
Yeah, and I think generally that Dyson is actually quicker than Gitter, and he's probably the fastest driver in this field, certainly after the first 200 laps or so, maybe even through actually the first stages in both of them, where he was not particularly strong. Okay, but not by his standards, front-running, race-winning pace, but now certainly does have that as the temperatures are cooled. He's got even faster, and now I think he looks pretty much unbeatable here. The only thing Gitter's got going for him at the moment is that track position, which he's using very well, as DiCiani is putting up a great fight towards the end here. He needs to finish quite a lot of positions in front of Hoytsma or Hill, and he's doing all he can to try and do that, or indeed win the race, which is in the third, and there's a spin. Is it going to go all the way round? No. The 26 of Hill saves it, but look at the positions he loses. The caution comes out.
Paul Hill had to lock it down. Got loose trying to battle with Nicholas Vroman, just snapped around on exit. Great effort to avoid hitting any walls as things got wild with the traffic.
This is playoff implications again. DiCiani needed this, but Hill absolutely didn't. Look at that, and the way they avoided behind was very impressive as well.
And now, Paul Hill losing a lot of valuable spots there with that wiggle. It drops him down to 10. fought hard to make sure that car didn't snap. He's lucky he didn't snap into traffic. But this has really scrambled up the strategy. You know who just stayed out? Nicholas Vroman, who pit 43 laps ago, is out here on track with 40 to go. Don't know how this is going to work with everybody else taking tires. And Matt DiCiani and Patrick Gitter are the first out of the pit lane from Fortis on 2 tires.
Well, the 2 tires worked very well earlier, and Dyson might well do it again as well. It was stage 2, of course, that he won from that 2-tire call, and that really set things off for him. But DiCiani needs to finish either 7 positions or more in front of Hill, or 10 positions or more in front of Hoytsma. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to do that, but of course winning you're in means that he could make it very, very simple for us all by winning this race. Let's see in these final laps of the race.
Well, this is going to be an interesting end of the race here, isn't it? Nicholas Vroman trying to roll the dice on all tires, but DiCiani, who at this point needs to find his way around both the 21 and the 95. It's going to be interesting to watch. 2 tires from Murray Hoffman as well this run. 35 to go, Ewan. Your predictions on how this is about to go here with the old tires looking to park the bus.
Yeah, I think Vroman's going to struggle. He would have liked to caution to probably come 10-15 laps earlier. Dyson has to go to the end of the line here by the looks of things, by the way. He would have liked this caution to come 10-15 laps earlier for Vroman, because the difference now in tyres is, I think, too big for him to realistically hope to stay in front of a lot of these guys.
Here we go. Green flag is out. Nicholas Vroman clears for now as the rush to the bottom is on. DiCiani fighting it out for second, needs to clear.
Yeah, and he's on the inside at least, but Gitter is strong in a short run out of these restarts. So, trouble in the background, and no spin. Hoffman it was, going slowly through 3 and 4.
Just been tonight's run for Hoffman here. We have an air spin and 2. Caution flag is out as Patrick Gitter, as Gitter has gathered it up. Gitter hit by DiCiani, sent sliding.
Well, I thought the aggression would be turned up, and we might be about to see that. Gitter, a non-playoff driver, with DiCiani, who is a playoff driver, who will have to start on the outside row, by the way, which I'm not sure he's quite fought through, but DiCiani, I think he just got loose on entry there, DiCiani, and that's how he got into Gitter.
Yeah, right there, that wiggle. Just enough to push Gitter up, and Gitter used the wall as a crutch to save himself. Gitter with that. Dropping all the way down to 8th position with the slide after looking to be potentially in the conversation. Daiso down to 14th, it looked like, with their speeding penalty as well. There's a look. Murray, very lucky he held on a bobble too.
Yeah, and everybody hit each other at the end of that as well, so Murray might, I don't think he'll have rear end damage from that, but he did get hit there by the 77 just behind him again, so yeah, there will be discussions there, but Vroman held on that restart, and it's not going to be an obvious tyre difference, as we know. We've seen that time and again, but it is going to be a difference, and I think it is going to be noticeable here in the next 30 laps if Vroman intends to do this the whole 30 laps, of course.
So another restart coming up here. Paul Hill with all of that, by the way, did have a clean nose before the stack-ups happened there. Paul Hill is not so clean now with damage from all those slides with Hoffman. He crushed in the front nose, so not going to be a good spot for the 92 or for the 41 or for, really, Paul Hill in the 26 up towards the front here. But a big chance for DiCiani coming up. The first on 4 here, Paul Hill, going to be really hampered. Hoytsma is going to be one to watch too.
Yeah, On points, they're fine, those two, but they know that DiCiani winning would put it between the two of them, and that would give suddenly Heitzmer the advantage, but Hill not very many points to make up. I mean, they're only 3 points apart coming into this stage of the race, the final stage. So that's 3 positions if DiCiani wins. There's a big if with 29 to go.
Restart here with 29 to go. Green flag is out. Vroman on the launch. No issues off the jump. Murray immediately to second, immediately trying to go towards the bumper. Hill battles it out for third. DiCiani did not get the launch he needed at all.
I said that the outside line was exactly not where he wanted to be, and caution flies again, but he's on the outside again. DiCiani is behind Hill. He's down in 4th. He will have to restart again on the outside after losing 2 places on this restart.
William Owens Amonso's involved here with another driver with a meatball flag and Simpson from it. No flags continue to fly here. I believe Simpson was a blown motor, separate from the incident, just a coincidental time. Owens definitely got help in the 20.
And let's see confirmation with this replay. There you go, there you go, there you go. At least 3 or 4 hits in the rear, and South of 30 car ends up in the wall through turn 3. Again, we're going to see quite a lot of that in the next 30 laps or so. I hope we do get a nice run to the end now, to be honest. It would be nice to not see it end in a green-white checkered, because I think we've seen some long enough green flag runs that this race deserves a decent run to the end as well, but we may not get that with so much on the line here.
I don't know if we're going to get that absolutely here. 26 to go. Murray looked hungry off that restart previous. Murray hasn't won since Las Vegas. It's been a long while for the 7. Again, a chance for a playoff spoiler if he's able to get the win. Vroman can just double up on the round and be in the Corey Hines simulator. He's able to move on forward. But all this gets interesting with Hill and DiCiani side by side here, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be so interesting to see what happens here. I said it immediately that, DiCiani needed to find a way somehow. I mean, it's not easy, but find a way somehow to get yourself onto the inside line, and he's not been able to do that. He's going to have to restart on the outside line here for this one, and it just remains to be seen where he can get past now. As I said earlier, if Hill and Heitzmer finish well inside the top 5 or so, certainly the top 10 in Heitzmer's case, then there's nothing that DiCiani can do other than win, and that's going to be hard to do from 4th place.
So we get ready with 24 to go. So let's find out how they will restart here. Tempers have been flaring all throughout the night. Sun starting to set, green flag is out. We're back underway. Big defensive moves there for drivers in the back of the pack. But it's going to be up front. Nicholas Vroman on the older tires looking to hold off the crowd. Paul Hill with a crushed in front nose looking for second.
This would surely confirm it as he gets past Murray, but no, he backs off just a little bit. Heitzmer in 4th. DiCiani has been shuffled down into 5th position. It's not ideal for the 4 car. He's got to make up 4 positions in 23 laps, 22 laps now as they come over the line.
I don't know how long this is going to last for the 5, but it's going to require a defensive masterclass. Murray pushing as hard as he can, trying to get to the bumper. Trying to reach out, nearly gets into him. Loose off the corner is Vroom. More drivers in 3 and 4 wrecking. Caution flag again. And Hoffman is in it. Clayton Hoffman has towed. And that is a playoff driver who is in a must-win scenario. Another one. That is a 3rd playoff driver in the last 100 laps with an issue.
Yeah, so We're surely down to just 3 playoff drivers for those 2 spaces now. This is Hoffman, who was already a little bit banged up before this, and towards 3 and 4. He's got a lot of work to do, and he's just going to get, well, it's a big stack up actually, isn't it? But the last blow delivered by the 20, and that might be the last action the 92 spends in contention for this championship. He toes back to pit lane, that might well be that.
One of the strong contenders here throughout the season is done from the checkup, yeah. He had been bounced around a fair bit in the later stages here tonight, bounced around whenever he had track position. Just not Hoffman's evening with how things have gone here tonight for the 92. See right here, off Mullins.
I mean, he makes contact with the car in front of him, doesn't really stand a chance there, does he? And neither does the car behind him. So we're all bound to hit each other there, unfortunately, due to situations out their control. And now we get even less laps to go before the finish here. The difference this time, DiCiani is on the inside, and he's going to have to be ultra aggressive to try and take this race win, which he absolutely needs. At the moment, Roman's strategy of using track position is working, and to be fair, there's no reason to suggest it's going to stop working anytime soon.
The more cautions we get, the more this helps the 95, but eventually somebody is going to give the scoop booty to the back end of that 95. The bump and run, also popular here. With this car, it's a lot more harder to do, but it is possible to do it. We've seen in real life drivers just hold on firmly with the bump.
Yeah, it's
now,
not quite Gen 4, is it? But
nope.
Yeah.
Definitely not Gen 6 either.
No. But, and by the way, so the one thing I was going to say, sorry to cut you off, we've seen Murray very, very willing to do that as well. Actually, probably the most willing of any driver in this field to do that.
So 17 to go when we fire off again. Hoffman officially is out. So at the moment, there are 15 cars still on the lead lap. Daiso is in the top 6. Gitter has recovered a 5th. Green flag is out. Good time up by Murray. He gets to the bottom, gets to the bumper. Doesn't really make contact though with it, but a hold on to second, all while Paul Hill and Lucas Hoytsma battle it out for the 3rd spot. Murray he's trying to get him loose. Murray gets loose instead.
Yeah, that phase was about getting low there, getting in front of Hill, who could have got down his inside there, because when you're on the outside, obviously we've seen it time and again tonight, you can get shuffled back very, very quickly, but he made sure that he could tuck back in. Now he's got to get close to Vroman and try and get to his rear bumper, but as you say, got loose off of 4 last time, and he's going to have to do some work even to get there now. It's quite a gap that he's got to close here.
Staying right now, Gitter slipping his way on through all this. He's bringing Dyson with him. Those two fast all evening, looking to cut through. 13 laps to go in our spinner. Another caution. Stephen Williams and the DPR car is around for a yellow flag.
Well, how many is that going to leave us with at the end? It's eight laps to go, I guess, next time round. Next time we get a green flag. There's not going to be many until we start seeing green-white checkers, and we have been seeing at least that long of a green flag run, so it shouldn't take too many of those for us to reach a finish. But just how much more aggressive is Murray going to get? That's how aggressive we get seeing on the right foot now from these guys. 98 going around exclusively because of that, just sweeping up one driver with him. That's a little bit more minor damage for the already very banged up cars down towards the back.
Again, this is exactly what Nicholas Vroman wants to see here if he wants to get the win. It's cautions, precautions, precautions. The more restarts we get, less time to work with. And the more physicality is going to be required here to get the job done. Murray's running out of time to make this move, and he's got the fast cars right there on the inside lined up for the next restart.
Yeah, it's going to be a high pressure restart, this one. Vroman, though, seems to have played an absolute blinder in terms of the strategy. He maybe, I think he was one of the drivers I was saying about earlier who've maybe taken a bit too many tyres early on, but actually it seems to work out in the end, because so you don't need them towards the finish here. You just need the track position and some decent tyres, at least compared to those around you, and that's exactly what Vroman's got. He's got a decent chance of going on to win this one. It will indeed be 8 laps to go when we go back green.
So, one of the tires hard as Murray. It's going to be difficult here. You got to be careful not to burn up too much percentages with the tires. You can burn that up. The amount of weaving now these days. But the tire heat's so important to get the fire off just right here. It's going to have to be a picture-perfect launch, and Vroman has had a lot more heat cycles built up with 72 lap old tires to park the bus in front. 72 lap one-sided tires at least. 11-second stop, remember. Want to go signal. Vroman and Murray up front.
And again, to remind you, in the playoff situation, it's pretty settled at the moment, but you never know. Here at the moment, it would be making it through. Obviously, we already know about Vroman confirmed. Dyson confirmed on points tonight, and at the moment, Hoytsma and Hill confirmed on points as things stand as well, coming to this restart.
Here we go, 8 to go. At the stripe, Murray trying to time it. Better start this time for Ginter. Murray outside, tries to slate it. Trying to pinch down Vroman. Vroman clears.
There's no gap for him this time. Although Murray's got a gap now, he's still on the outside, and he's making a great fist of this in the 7 car as they come to 7 to go.
7 to go. Murray not able to fill the hole in front of Ginter. Ginter keeps shoving it to the inside. Exactly what Nicholas Vroman wants to see is a battle on behind. Coming to 6 laps to go now. Up the hill goes Murray. Side by side they go down the front stretch.
This battle is mostly helping Vroman, to be honest. Ginter, though, does get through. Now, can he use some of that short run speed to get to that race leader in time before this race finishes?
5 to go. Ginter needs this to run green. He's got much fresher rubber, but a lot of heat cycles on the restarts. Gap right now, 1 car length between the two of them. Can Ginter get to the bumper? Can he get Vroman loose? Can he take himself away to get a back-to-back win and a non-super speedway win? 4 to go. Ginter trying to arc it high side, try and time it up on the exit.
He's not quite got the exit there. He's got good corner entry though, especially down in towards turn number 1. See it here towards 3. Gets really close. There's the bumper. There's the first bit of contact. 3 to go.
Ginter going to go again. Side by side between Daiso and Murray as well for the 3rd spot. They race it out. Defensive line Vroman. Ginter gets the crowbar out. Oh! He moves Vroman. Vroman spins. He hits Murray. Caution flag is out. Green-white checker territory as Ginter not afraid to use the bumper for the lead.
Wow. Vroman will be pleased he doesn't have anything riding on this race, because he's been moved out the way by Ginter. This is the way to make moves at Martinsville late on, of course. You could see Vroman expecting this right from the beginning. Defend it, but Ginter anyway got into him. Vroman was deep anyway, by the way, at turn 3 and 4. He did not nail that entry at all, but he was hit by Ginter, and that was the deal sealed. And we've got green-white checkers.
And now, it's the question, what does Dyson do? Now that he's got 2nd spot, Murray obviously going to stay out there. Did take a hit to the front end also, and is dealing with right front damage from that contact. Green-white checker territory, what means quite simply, get to the white flag, the race is over after that point. It's the race to the checker. If we get a caution flag before we get to the white, we'll re-rack them, stack them. Again, unlimited GWCs, a part of this series. And we do not want to get to the point where we have 50 of them. The race limit, by the way, on time was 4 hours, 15 minutes. If we have too many green-white checkers, we can definitely hit that limit.
Well, you say that. Haven't we only just crossed 3 hours, 15 minutes? So
Yes. I'm
Okay.
just saying, you can have that happen with Martinsville.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's worth remembering actually the time limit on these races because yeah, you're right. We don't go forever, but yeah, we it's been okay for the especially for the first 400 laps. Not bad at all by Martinsville standards as far as the cautions go. Last 100 laps, of course, it has been a little bit more, but that's to be expected, especially when you get so many clean cars actually to the last 100 laps, as we have done tonight. You are more likely to see the crashes towards the finish, but here we go. Grey-white checker attempts, number 1 coming up, and as you say, we do, in theory, have an hour of these.
Up the tires, Murray again. They've doubled up. Gitter, Dyson, Murray, Hill. The top 4. DeCiani, followed by Hoytsma, Hutchinson, Pearson. Mullins is in the top 10 with Mesnar. Some surprises there. But will we get the end of the race here, or will we see some cautions, precautions to end it out? Rewind checkered attempt number 1. Gitter in front of Dyson. Green flag is out. Murray, decent run for the second row, but Gitter with a better one. Gitter builds the buffer. Battle is on for second, and this is what Gitter wants to see.
Exactly what he wants to see. Murray on the inside of Dyson. Oh, he misses the inside there just a little bit, Murray. Look at the gap that Gitter's got with 1 lap to go.
White flag is out, final time around for Martinsville. The battle is on for P2 as Patrick Gitter, last week's race winner, was able to streak his way to victory at Talladega. Tonight, one of the more faster cars on the evening gets it done. It's a playoff spoiler for the win once again. Murray over Dyson, Hill and DeCiani, the top 5.
A non-playoff 1-2, and Gitter with the fastest lap of the race on the last lap of the race. He does deserve it, especially his short run speed tonight was fantastic. He led a lot of laps. He most importantly led the last one, and he is a race winner tonight. Congratulations to him. And indeed, the 4 playoff drivers who make it into the Championship 4, provisionally on our points, Vroman, Dyson, Hoytsma and Hill all fight for the playoffs next week.
So burnout time for the 21 machine here, and a hefty one at that for Gitter. It's his 3rd win of the season, first non-super speedway win for Gitter in 2025.
And a nice burnout as well, I've got to say, around the corner.
And that takes a lot of skill.
That does.
He's going to burn it around this entire racetrack if you want.
Well, nobody driving the other way, so why not, I suppose. He's got the fuel. He's somehow got the tyres for this, and yeah, very, very skillful burnouts. He's had some practice, clearly.
Just curious if he's going to be able to finish this out. I think he will. So, again, Gitter finishes the celebration. Doesn't last the whole way around. Closes down his celebration. We'll take a quick step away for a split second. Then we'll get to post-race coverage. You're watching Maconi Entertainment, the FLCC.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway post-race coverage for the full-length Cup Challenge tonight. As it was a whirlwind, to say the very least. Some non-playoff drivers, in terms of the round of 8 at least, able to get the job done. Patrick Gitter over Alex Murray, then Dyson and Hill, the top 4. Is that enough for Hill? We'll have to wait for official word. Unofficially, the answer is maybe. DeCiani top 5, Lucas Hoytsma 6, Pearson, followed by Hutchinson, Mullins, and Komacheski. All get top 10s up on the board. Mesnard finishes 11, Hastings in 12th. Williams and Vroman down in 14th. William Owens in 15th. Llewellyn, Anderson, Delaney, Hoffman, Medeiros get top 20s. Then down the order amongst the many DNFs here, Simpson, Benefiel with the screen freeze, Hodgson, Amon, O'Brien Jr., Dave Hoytsma, Wheeler, and Kleinman are the drivers. Let's look top to bottom of the order here tonight in this one, as in the end, it is Patrick Gitter who gets the win. You win on a non-super speedway, Patrick. How are you feeling as you lead 143 laps and take the win at the paperclip?
Man, it's just kind of validated a little bit. I've been saying all season that we've lost some of these races where we've had really good cars at mile and a half and some of the shorter tracks, and for whatever reason it just didn't work out. So this was just a gritty win to get up there after some adversity and try to do it the right way. I mean, there's always chaos at Martinsville, but trying to, leave room for others, but still kind of balance that with being aggressive and getting up front. So honestly, raced my butt off that race, and I'm just thrilled to bring it home.
How difficult was it to try and take that race lead, though, from Vroom? I know you made contact, though, for the lead.
I knew it was going to be tough. Vroman is a fantastic driver, and he and I have been racing together a long time on here against each other, and I feel like, we both respect one another a lot. And I knew it was going to be tough to get around him. We made very slight contact, maybe the 2 corners prior to where he got turned, which was kind of how I was wanting to set up. I was trying to just really baby nudge, move him a little bit so I could get under. And then that corner into 3, I saw he had washed up a little bit, and it looked like, I think he'd gotten tight a little bit, and I think he was barely getting loose right as I got to him, and then the bump I got him was just the bump I gave him. Just he never had a chance to get traction before we made contact that last time. So I hate that. But man, Martinsville is always chaotic. Tons of crazy stuff happened that race with Adam dropping and some speeding penalties. It was just a lot of content to have seen.
So that being said here, what's the approach for the finale at Phoenix?
I don't know. For me personally, I missed the playoffs, was out 2 weeks in the round of 16. So for me, it's just been, I approach it as if I'm in the playoffs. I'm wanting to, show that I belong in the, contention for, the Champ 4, even though obviously I'm not running for it, but just to show that, we have the cars to be a part of it and, to run. So, obviously we'll, keep an eye out for the playoff cars and folks. Like, the last thing we want to do is alter an outcome in a championship race, but at the same time we'll be, I don't think we'll approach it any different. Just try to show up, bring some good speed, and have a good race.
Any show would you like to give here tonight?
Yeah, definitely. You guys in the booth for calling the race, Bobby for running the league, Matt for building, helping us build another fantastic car this week. Too bad we couldn't. I don't know if he made it in on points or not. So, if not, still proud of him making it, as far as he did through the round of 8. So, lastly, I'll give Johan Seminario a shout out for the paint. I love this paint that I've been running this year. Shout out to him for doing the design.
Congratulations on the run here tonight.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Patrick Gitter gets the win here tonight. Alex Murray comes away in second tonight. Alex, so close, but you get P2 here tonight. Talk us through that final stage.
I felt like we were pretty solid. The final stage there. But before we get into it, I just want to apologize to Nolan. Didn't expect him to break that early and kind of throw that block there. So I apologize for ending his race. But yeah, the end of the race was pretty solid. I think if we didn't get those last 2 cautions there and it was just me and Vroman, I maybe could have got by him with the tire deficit he was on. But overall, a really good showing for us. And sucks we're not in the playoffs, but solid runs like this carry momentum into next year and keep working at it.
Overall, how would you describe the way the car felt for you? We've seen a lot of people try and battle out the tires and trying to limit as much fall off as we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, the fall off was pretty substantial tonight. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but the tire would plateau after about 25 laps, and you were kind of stuck riding where you were unless you had a big mistake or something like that. So kind of going hard and trying to conserve tire temp over the percentage of wear was a little interesting. But as the track cooled off there, my car got better, and everyone else seemed to struggle a bit more. So it was encouraging to know that my plan worked, and I set the car up for the end of the race, and just so happened we were that close to getting it.
So that being said, what's your approach going to be for Phoenix?
I made some enemies tonight, didn't I? So try not to piss anyone else off, and we'll go from there. But hopefully we have a fast car and can get the job done.
Any shows you'd like to give here tonight?
Yeah, Precision Speed Solutions, JZM Tile Works, Dalton Trump Photography, PayRVA, everybody at Precision Speed Solutions, the whole house team for putting in the work each and every week, and of course you guys for putting on the show.
Congratulations on the run here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
Alex Murray gets himself second, and one of the drivers we can tell you unofficially in, and points have been tabulated as well via the sim, Andrew Dyson. Welcome to the Championship 4.
Thank you. Thanks for welcoming me into the Championship 4.
How would you describe things in the closing stages as you had a rocket tonight, 172 laps led?
I did, man. I mean, the car was so fast, dude. Like, it was, I could pretty much run like a lane up, a lane down. It was pretty maneuverable, really. And yeah, man, it was good on 4 tires, on 2 tires. It's just the operator that's sped in pit lane, which was pretty bad, man. I mean, I can sit here and cry about it, but yeah, at the end of the day, my fault. But yeah, that wasn't the worst of it. The worst of it was when I hit Ralph, and that was just terrible, man. I'm pretty sure he was letting me go at that point. He keyed up to let me go, and I just didn't move out enough and draw the back of him. So it was pretty bad. Really sorry to Ralph about that. That's probably the worst thing that happened in the race. I mean, finishing second, probably not so bad. Third, sorry. Jeez, giving myself an extra position. But yeah, all in all, good race.
But tonight, the pressure is definitely on for some drivers. You know, you're in a bit more comfortable spot with the postseason. What was kind of that feeling knowing you had the points, but still had to get the finish to make sure you got that Championship 4 as the series leader in victories?
Yeah, that was exactly what was going through my mind. I just needed to get out there, get a good finish. Certainly not get out there and not make friends or find enemies or anything like that. I just needed to go for high percentage moves. Keep it towards the front as long as I could, which I think I certainly could have with the Rocco set up tonight. It was so fast. Yeah, so a little disappointed in myself for that, but otherwise that's pretty much exactly what was going through my mind. Just needed to get a good finish.
So now it becomes the question, what is your approach with Phoenix to try and win yourself a championship?
I think if I go out there and I change what I've been trying to do the whole season, I'll probably mess myself up. So I think it's best if I just go out there and stick to what I have been doing. And if I can do as well as I was going at some stages tonight, I think I can put myself in a pretty good spot. But yeah, whatever happens, happens. You can't force it. You just got to play your hand that's dealt to you. And that's what I'll try and do, and I'll do the best I can with it.
Any show would you like to give here tonight?
For sure. I'll just say thanks to you guys for putting on the little TV show here for our friends to tune in and for us to watch back. And yeah, shout out to all the guys who come out for a race tonight and everyone who puts the league on. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations on the run here tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Andrew Dyson gets himself top 3. Again, this graphic released moments ago as well has the following drivers on it: Nicholas Vroman, Andrew Dyson, Lucas Hoytsma, and Paul Hill as your championship 4. Those points put through Sim Racer Hub as well. The cutoff difference, 8 points for Paul Hill over Matt DeCiani to get the final spot to try and battle it out for a championship. That crash for Delaney is the reason he's on the outside looking in for tonight. Clayton Hoffman and Adam Benefiel also finished on the hook. So some big swings in the very end, but we have one more race to go for a championship. It's Phoenix Raceway. It's November the 2nd. Coverage starts 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch that here on Maconi Entertainment to see who wins the FLCC and gets themselves a richer payday. Remember, money on the line for that champion, a part of who can come away as the victor. But it's just about time to say goodbye for tonight's coverage. We've been happy to have you along for the ride here this evening. For Ewan O'Leary, for DJ Lyon, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. You've enjoyed the rest of the evening. Thank you for watching tonight's action. We hope you stay true to our social media pages for our next race here on Maconi Entertainment. Thanks to the entire staff for bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.